Far from the cradle of civilization, Union still seeks to unite the human diaspora. But now, an edict, long since forgotten, can be heard again, scream from beyond the stars. Will humanity hear? Will we understand? For now, only one thing is certain. Our Lancers will respond when the Starcriers fly.
That's just the outro.
Hello and welcome back to RPGs Uncovered, where the cameras are always a mess. I'm going to fix that shortly while I am waiting for while I pass it over to my players to tell them about themselves, tell you about themselves. So bear with me, I'll get it fixed. Sorry about that. Anyway. Welcome back to another episode of the Starcrier Conflict, our Lancer AP campaign series. We are on episode 5. We are still on the first mission. Our Lancers have thus far taken a Kool-Aid Man approach, and we'll see if that continues today. That's been the theme of our conversation up to this point. But more on that once we actually jump into our recap and get going. I try to keep these intros relatively short so we can get on with the game, and so we're not just blabbering on for 15 minutes, but let me first and foremost direct anybody watching down to the Mayhem meter, because I think it's the most important announcement. If you are here on Twitch, you can scroll down, head over to the About tab, and check out the Mayhem meter. That is the best way I can think of giving back to these amazing people here with me. Anything collected through the Mayhem meter, it's a donation link. Anything collected through the Mayhem meter gets split up evenly between all of us. It's the best way I can think of to ensure that I can pay these people for their time and their effort and all the wonderful creative gifts that they give me. And an added benefit for you folks, every $15 unlocks some sort of crazy mayhem, and I got some things planned. So you want to make it extra challenging or extra ridiculous or extra dangerous, help me help these folks. Anyway, if you would like to help out the channel directly, that goes towards production value stuff, things like paying for musicians and artists, mostly, because I'd really like to get more art for this show, and art is expensive. Musicians, artists, maybe one day I'll get an editor. Stuff like that. You can head over to our Ko-Fi page, where we not only take your money, but we give you some cool behind-the-scenes stuff for it, if you like that kind of stuff. We got after shows. I'm hoping we get to one at the end of this episode, but if not, definitely probably an extended one when we actually finish up mission 1, because I'm really excited to talk about some stuff. We got playlists incoming. I got GM notes coming. I'm going to drop all of my notes for this first mission once we are done with it on there. So that's the best way to get player side and GM side behind the scenes content if you're really interested about the inner workings of this show. And I think that's about it. Otherwise, come hang out with us on the social medias. I'm on pretty much all of them, mostly still on Twitter, kind of trying to get better with threads. And of course, we have our Discord, where I'm always glad to talk to people, always glad to listen to different theories about what's going on and answer questions. So come hang out. Let me throw it over to my awesome players now so that they can distract you with their voices while I fix these cameras. Take it away.
Let me just slide down a little bit.
Sorry. I'm trying to get you guys in order.
Hi. I'm Sean. Okay. Tonight I'm playing August Walker, aka Solitaire, who pilots Epithet. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm on board with the whole Kool-Aid Man project that's going on around here, because it's not generally my thing, but I suppose we'll find out. Oh, hey. Look, I can sit up now.
Yeah, you're fixed.
Who is it? Oh, I think that's me. Hey, howdy, hi.
That's Haley.
I'm Haley. Look at that. But yes, tonight I am playing Siobhan Shiv, aka Bite. And I am also, I'm pretty on the fence about Kool-Aid Man. I'm pretty a big fan. I sent a Kool-Aid Man gif in the Discord, and I got really excited about it, but I need to play true to my character, who would believe that it's better to talk things out. To an extent, to an extent. These guys are bad. Anyways, oh, look at that. It's crazy watching this happen live. Anyway, bye.
Yeah, sorry.
I know.
Put that away, Lion. That's me next. Hi, I'm Q. Tonight I'm playing Logan Uhura, call sign Desperado, who is not about the Kool-Aid Man thing, because his mech would probably fall apart.
That's true. You would die.
So, right, and we don't want to die. This is just the first mission, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's me.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I am playing Athen Mishan, pilot of the Blade 2 in favor of the Kool-Aid Man approach, actually. We'll just see what
I mean,
happens.
it's a very Athens sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, feels correct.
There we go.
You're muted.
You're muted.
No.
Here we go. There we go. I
That's
got
what-
it. Sorry about that.
I wish I had a
Hey.
mute button for Tavik. Jeez.
Yeah, it's hard to hear the truth all the time. I know. Hey, I'm Drake Lionheart, and I will be playing John Tavik Vasir Harrison IV, Starblood, piloting drone. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if they need me. It's fine.
Oh, boy.
AKA that douchebag over there.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Wait,
that asshole.
everybody, really quick. We haven't done it in a couple weeks. Pronoun check. Back in order.
Oh,
He,
Good
him,
call.
all around for me.
They, them. Siobhan is she, they.
both he hims.
Also, both he, hims.
They, he for me. He, him, they for Tavik.
Excellent. And just in time. Hello, folks. Jack here once again. He, him. Yeah, let us move on from the tech gremlins then and jump back into the Starcrier conflict. So, last time on the Starcrier conflict,
We'll see.
we had our new Lancers coming in from their orbital descent, breaking past the anti-air cannons and the electronic warfare suites of the surrounding area, and coming in, landing just within fighting range of basically what you see on screen here, the main administrative complex for the Drespel 1 tantalum mining operation. WAC, which is Wellica, Ash, and Croxby. This is a planet, really just a small mining outpost that was attacked and occupied by a pirate force, privateer micro corporation force about 7 years ago. But because space is big, and for the most part we are still limited by the speed of light, it took about 7 years for, rescue to come. And so our Lancers are here, trying to, primarily stop what is happening here, arrest or eliminate the head of this operation, who is believed to be Commander Commodore Riley, and, of course, secondarily, but pretty much just as important, rescue the civilians who are, now presumably hostages and forced laborers. After a number of combats, they made it to the facility. They completely wrecked the defenses here, took out all of the turrets, took out presumably all of the at least nearby mechs that they had on site, and even blew in one of the large wall doors. And we find ourselves now with the group still in their mechs, gathered around one of the main entrances to this installation, this headquarters. And it was Blacksmith who was trying to have a conversation with at least one, maybe a couple still on the fence, members of this squad of heavily armed and armored foot soldiers, basically, who came out after there was a very brief conversation on open comms with Commodore Riley. They were invited inside to have a conversation, and basically our Lancers just told him to shove it. And so there was an explosion off in the distance. Ominous, whatever that may be, surely can't be a good thing. And then these new squads, one to the north and one to the south down here, that was deployed as further deterrence. They quickly and quite expertly perceived that these did not seem like your, well-trained soldiers. And not even well-trained pirates, you would say. They seemed twitchy and nervous and scared, even. And so, Blacksmith attempted a conversation with one of them, just barely broaching the topic before another trigger-happy member of this squad got frightened, got spooked by Desperado, who quickly approached in his mech and blew off the head of the one who was presumably the most keen on having a conversation. Now that is where we are going to pick up today. First order of business, however, Q, I'm going to refund you 2 HP, because these guys are, it's a squad, and really only about half the squad was attacking you. So I'm giving you half the damage instead. So you can refund yourself 2 HP. But mechanics out of the way, recap out of the way. To set the scene, our camera will zoom in from orbit once again. We see drifting debris of the defense installation. As we zoom down across the clouds, we see still a number of, actually at this point, a number of black smoke columns rising from bombed out defensive installations. And we can see in the distance, there does still seem to be some very limited ground fighting and some very limited air fighting. There are still support teams that are trying to maintain their distraction and their wide dispersal of damage to distract from this squad. And we pan over, of course, to this facility, probably through that blasted open defense door, and over to what we see here. We slide past the large blue mech of... I'll get these down eventually. Solitaire's mech. What do you call it? What do you call it? Epithet. Past the large blue mech of Epithet. Over past Desperado's yet unnamed mech. To focus on this moment in time where we are hung at this present moment. Of Blacksmith standing atop Blade 2. Just about to have a conversation with one of the soldiers. And I think we just see the red mist as our camera refocuses to Blacksmith's expression. Because again, 90s television. Let's pick up right there. And I'm not going to immediately drop us into combat, not that we roll initiative or anything in this game. But it's not yet beyond the point of no return of whether this is a narrative or combat thing. Now, I will say, you can clearly see that at least half of this squad up here is quite well agitated, pointing guns, and most of them having just fired on Desperado, though there does seem to be at least one clear sort of agitator who has taken the lead. The other half of the squad, minus the one guy who is crumpled to the ground, is looking back and forth between their buddies who have turned and fired on Desperado, and over to the other side to Blacksmith, and to Bite, who is just next to him.
Speaking of knowing that he is currently exposed and not quite in his mech, Bite's gonna step in front of Blade 2.
Okay.
And kind of just blockade that. All right, hold up, hold the phone. There was the chance to talk.
Let me ask. Because Blacksmith actually got out of his mech to communicate. I'll remind you, last time there was an attempt at communication. I believe one of the members of the squad, the one who was going to talk, made that sort of same no comms situation. Whether or not they could hear and just not speak, you're not sure. But of course, you don't have their personal comm frequency. If you want to talk to them through comms, it would basically be open comms. Broadcasting to anyone who wants to listen in, or you can get out and, well, be just as exposed as Blacksmith.
Is there a way to call back the guy that
Sure,
he was talking to before?
Yeah, you can give the Commodore a ring.
Yeah, I will. So I'll do that, kind of situate myself to protect my bud, and then I'm gonna call Commodore.
Do you put a big mech hand out and trying to get these guys to calm
Hands
down?
up.
All
kind
right.
of chill out.
While
And
this is happening, yeah.
I was just saying, because I was having the same thought, honestly, as Shiv, in that I was going to basically jump in front of Desperado and activate my personal shield between myself and this group of guys.
All right. So you move forward, activate your shield, though I assume you're also doing a sort of everybody calm down sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's not pointing any weapons or anything, just pulling up that shield, the faint ripple in the air kind of thing to show that you can see that there's something interposed.
So you and Desperado can see that this group of about 5 or 6 or so people still have their weapons drawn and pointed, now pretty much at you. They do look around to each other. They look around to each other, they look back at the other half of the group who isn't firing. They look back at you. You can see they're twitching, they're shaking. They look around to each other, they look back at the building, they kind of try to dip their head. You can see the wall here is almost floor to ceiling of just glass windows, so it looks like they're trying to look in and see something. But at least for now, everybody's, I don't want to say calm, but not attacking.
Okay.
Bite.
I'd like to stabilize.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead and mark that repair, and you can stabilize. Bite, I might also recommend the same, because your health bar looks very low.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So, Bite, would you, are you just pressing the hail button and basically just giving them a ring, or do you have an opening message you would like to send?
Yeah, I'll open with okay. I muzzled the guard dog for now. Let's try this again. I say it with absolute affection.
Okay. As you are calling, you basically get the call back ringing symbol is this this very eagle insignia, very Roman-esque eagle insignia, over top like a streaking comet, almost Final Fantasy VII style.
Oh, vibes. Okay.
And that seems to be the logo they are going with.
A choice.
The call answers. Hello. And who might you be?
Siobhan Carey. Okay, so the leash is kind of held tight at the moment. You mentioned we could talk. Yeah? Come inside and just talk?
Yes, I think that would be ideal for everybody involved. I'm glad to see cooler heads may have prevailed, though I do have to ask if your team is on board.
Well, at the moment, yes. But I can't promise that forever if you keep sending out civilians in suits. So maybe call them back.
Well, I'm sure you can appreciate that we only have so many people here. It is a small mining operation, and those who have been welcomed into our family are also required in times of great need to defend it.
Ooh.
Very well. However, if you would like to come in and have a conversation, the terms still stand. Park those machines of yours and come out unarmed, and we can have a talk like civilized people. Because I do hope to impress upon you that you are in a civilized place.
So my life on your word?
I understand you have no reason to trust my word. Sure. I don't quite have any collateral that I would be willing to exchange, except the alternative is the return to our little detente that we seem to have here. You can keep fighting, but there are 4 of you. If this comes down to I don't like to make threats, and I don't like to make threats that I don't want to uphold. But I have more bodies than you.
Hmm.
And I would prefer to keep all of them intact and alive.
Jack, Shiv is a clever person, I would like to think. In a war of attrition, if it came down to it, would we win?
I mean, there's a lot of unknown unknowns there. I mean, he is right. He has more bodies. And if he is willing to. If he has people who are willing to go out, that makes it even more dangerous and more long standing. If he has the equipment to send out. The equipment and authorities send out people who otherwise would not want to go out, that makes it even more dangerous and even more of a long standing conflict. And basically, you are sort of besieging this place. Unless you are willing to get out of your mech and go inside the building, your only other alternative is, as we said before, to Kool-Aid Man through it, which, as I said before, would put hostages in danger. Not just the ones who may be in the building, but any sort of retaliatory strike that may happen because of it. So unless you want to actually just destroy this place and, secondary objective of rescuing people be damned, you probably would not survive a battle of attrition. The only option would be reliant. I mean, you might. I mean, there's a number of ways that you can go about it. This is a big sandbox with a lot of toys in it, but only knowing the walls of this HQ and surrounding area, you only have so much that you can go by. You do know that there are Navy reinforcements on the way, but your objective was to take care of this before they show up, because they don't want an extended ground offensive, and they probably don't want an extended ground offensive, and at least to the information you have currently, if they were going to send a big military strike, they wouldn't have sent you.
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't know what other resources or tricks this person may have up their sleeve.
All right. Answers that question. I feel like we see a moment in Siobhan's head of them trailing down different paths of the outcomes that are possible, and then kind of go, none of those look particularly good. Theoretically, we could win. None of them look good. The question now that I have for my team is, would it be better if we all went in and tried to have this conversation, or do we want to leave people behind and maybe talk to these civilians?
I mean, I'm down to go inside because, quite frankly, I don't need a gun to kill this man if I need to.
Okay.
I feel like
I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm being serious.
I feel like we should split 2 and 2. Maybe have Blacksmith and Solitaire go in, while Bite and Desperado keep watch outside. And I only say me because even though I'm inside, I do have an NHP that can take control of my machine.
If I can diplomat my way into not having to diplomat inside this building, I'm going to. I promise.
Desperado, how do you feel about talking?
I mean, I don't know if splitting us up right this second is a good idea. Especially because we're pretty much in the belly of the beast. But I also understand wanting to make sure that we keep an eye out on the outside. Can your NHP observe?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then maybe we just have them stay sentinel. And if things go sideways, then we can head back. If it means we have to shoot our way out, then that's what it happens. Just, go for kneecaps.
Cool. I think that's our best plan so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That way we stick together.
Exactly. I'm saying that after years of experience with these people, Shiv is knowing what the group would prefer.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So there's a lot of pathways, there's a lot of rapid flashing of imagery in Siobhan's head, and then they kind of like snap back too. All right, well, let's hope that your word is not as bad as your ground-to-air defense. We're coming in.
Very good. I'll send the appropriate escort.
Over group comms, Shiv will come on to everybody and just... I'm not gonna talk anymore. That's probably not... I got scared.
You said what she said.
I don't necessarily regret it unless I die, but then if I die, I can't regret it, so I guess it's fine.
Alright, so let me get this straight. We're going in, no weapons?
Yep.
Did he say no weapons?
Yeah, that was one of the terms.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Quite frankly, fuck it. If I don't like what he's saying, I'm gonna break his neck.
Okay. We should tell our support.
Ugh, I can't do that. Absolutely not. Shiv's slipping out of their mech already. His, nose goes.
Alright. Anybody draw for it?
I got it.
My long-range comms are still down.
Oh no.
There's a quick camera slide of Solitaire just flipping a switch.
Oh no.
Oh,
Starblood, this is Desperado.
Ganshu, good to hear from you again. What do you got for me?
Oh, I tried reaching out to you. You were too busy.
Well,
It's
I'm
fine.
doing things up here.
Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, we're
Well,
going inside. We
inside
hit
where?
the main headquarters.
Going to need a bit more of a sit rep than that, I think.
The Commodore is using civilians as casualties, as collateral. He's already destroyed one of the auxiliary bases, one of the facilities. He sent out several groups of civilians in combat armor. We're going in to have a conversation.
There's a moment of quiet. And then... Do you have a head count?
Of people?
Yes.
There's at least 12 out here. Well, 11 now. One of them got trigger happy.
And there's another group to the south of the building as well.
Right. with another group on the other side.
Make sure you keep someone by comms. And my previous order stands. Don't die.
Copy.
Starblood out.
Okay. It's been made aware.
Let's get this over with.
I'm going to give Kitsune a rundown, stand watch for any disturbances, any new God, what's the word? Now my brain is totally fogged for a second there. Anybody new showing up, basically, whether it's machine, people, whatever, report back immediately in the case that somebody shows up, or if there is any aggressive moves made towards any of the machines, or it appears there's somebody trying to come in. Do not fire unless I say so.
Just to clarify very quickly, there was no mention of it being weapons free, right? You didn't mention that, did you?
They did.
Sure didn't. No,
Ooh. No,
I
no,
did
no.
not.
Yes, Desperado did not mention that.
Oh,
I
Desperado did not. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't say
Okay.
a goddamn word.
Just making sure. Okay, proceed. Sorry about that.
We're gonna get ripped a new one if we live.
Affirmative. Solitaire. Parameters established.
fucking hell. Is there any way I can hide a knife on my person?
Vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
Let's because this is narrative play, let's go a little. Let's see. No, you can roll for it now, and depending on how it goes, I'll just sort of bank whatever complications that may have. So, do you have any skill triggers that would help you in hiding a weapon on your person?
So one of my skill triggers is spot. That's being able to spot hidden things and notice details and things like that. So I figure, therefore, since I know how to spot these kind of things, I would know also how to keep them from being spotted. Stretching, maybe?
You gotta try.
I am going to give you a +1 with that instead of the standard +2. I like where you're going, but I think there are actual like stealthy covert skill talents that are more applicable.
Probably.
Yeah. So that'll be your D20 +1. I am going to make this a risky check, however, because it has clear and obvious complications for if this goes wrong and you are found with a weapon.
Okay, well, that's an 8, so yeah.
Okay. So that is a failure on a risky check. Cool.
Simply gonna die.
Well, like I said, I will bank that and I will make a note. Okay. So just to clarify, it is Blacksmith and Solitaire who are getting out of their mechs.
I think all four of us are going.
No, the whole squad's
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, whole squad's going, and then the Kitsune is doing Overwatch for us.
Oh, I thought you were splitting 2 and 2.
That was the original
No,
plan,
no,
but then we changed
no.
our mind.
Okay.
We panicked.
Yeah, no, I suggested.
This is also after the
Mm-hmm.
comment from Starblood about making sure someone's by the radio.
Right. So let me, like I said,
Well,
I don't really want to try to push you one way or the other. But just to reiterate, I am not the kind of DM who is going to penalize or punish splitting the party. In fact, I'm just the opposite. I encourage splitting the party. And I will also remind you that splitting into teams is very much a 90s, 2000s sci-fi trope.
Mm-hmm.
So I will leave it to you. If you want to stick with that 2-in-2 plan, you can keep Kitsune out here. You could have a team that stays and maybe talks to these people, or maybe you go and check out the greater area. Maybe you just stay and stand watch while the other team goes off. Or you can, as you determined before, all go in. They both have pros and cons.
Still like the splitting party, personally, but I'll leave that to group consensus.
No, it's fine. We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
If I can gracefully duck out of having to go inside, then yeah.
Okay, so Blacksmith and Solitaire are going inside?
I guess so.
Sure.
I'll still step outside of my mech. There's no reason to be inside of it if we're not planning on being combatants.
So you can see, as you are having this conversation about who's doing what, and kind of informing Starblood, you can see the squad out in front of the building. They do sort of take a... I mean, like I said, they're not really trained combatants, so they don't, like, drop into at ease or anything, but they do mostly lower their weapons, and you can see they're just kind of standing around looking at each other. So, Blacksmith, Solitaire, and Bite start slowly disembarking from their mechs. What would you like to do?
I will stay in mine for now.
All right.
As I'm walking past this this squad, I'm just gonna look over at them before meeting up with Solitaire. Hey, just so you know, the guns on those mechs are way bigger than what you got. Don't do anything stupid.
Bark, be nice.
A couple of them
Don't
do
pay
just...
attention to him. Just relax.
Does anybody got like a deck of cards? If this goes right, it could be a while.
Some of them look up to you, look back to each other. Kind of shake their head, shrug their shoulder.
Can I share a futuristic version of Tabletop Sim with these other mechs?
Also, I'm gonna just get on my comms real quick. Hey, Shiv, Desperado, just in case you get really bored, I still have the sound system in my mech. If you just want to play some tunes or something like that.
I was gonna say that the tabletop something sounds like a custom thing. Like you would take the 1 point thing for it, but it would be so cool.
Tabletop simulator system add-on.
You guys want to play some Lancer? Lancer?
Yeah.
So as we're passing by these guys, kind of what does their equipment look like? Like, is this like professional grade looking equipment? Is this like cobbled together from, the junkyard?
Much like a lot of what you've seen here already, it looks like not military grade, but like professional security grade.
Okay.
30, 40 years ago.
Okay. Outdated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Outdated PMC stuff. Okay.
And you have a skill trigger and spot, right?
I do.
That's
yes.
what we just said. Yeah. I'm not gonna make you roll for this. You notice now that you are closer and walking by that they do have body cams on them.
Okay.
But the two of you, Blacksmith, Solitaire, you sort of mad dog these poor hostage combatants and make your way inside. It is once again a rather large building, and unfortunately, without making the map that is shown on screen just enormous, I can't really make it to scale. But this is a large building. It was created out of the transport ship that they came on. So you can see it is structurally very sound. Obviously, there are windows. Now, what windows are in the future for spaceships, I mean, it's probably like some kind of translucent titanium or some other fancy sci-fi thing. But it is a large building, about half a mile or so, on each side, and goes up probably a good 3.5 to 4.5, 5 stories, somewhere around there, depending on what is just architectural and what is actual usable space. And you walk into it's been 7 years. It has been attacked, but it also has been repaired. There's some cobbled patches here or there. And by cobbled, I don't mean it's just kind of like bolted on. It looks like there was care taken to repair this place. But you may notice that some areas are a slightly different shade of paint or slightly different metal that has been otherwise welded on and properly sanded and whatnot. It looks like they've taken care to not only repair the building, but make it somewhat nice looking. And you walk in through this wall of windows into basically a corporate headquarters main atrium. You can see in front of you, it stretches on for a little bit. There's marble tiles on the ground. There is a number of little seating areas that are surrounding like little gardens. There's trees in there. There's a desk at the far end with a little dividing wall, and it looks like you can go around further into the atrium, and you can see there's a number of hallways that go off, left and right down throughout this first level of this headquarters. And actually, this main atrium does open up to a second floor, so you can see there's a staircase going up. It has, the glass handrails and dividers, and you can see there are soldiers lining that walkway up on the second floor, looking down into this building. These ones don't look nervous. They don't have their guns trained on you as you walk in, but they are standing there. They are clearly at attention. Their gear doesn't look too terribly much better, and in fact it's probably not the armor-piercing high calibers that they're using outside that are designed to puncture mech hulls. These are, of course, more ground assault person-to-person weapons. But you do see up on that balcony there are a number of soldiers. And down just in front of the desk, there's nobody at the desk, but you do see signs that this is a lived-in and used place. There's trash cans about that have things in them. You can see over to one side there is actually a sci-fi version of a mop and bucket over there. Probably some sort of like sonic scrubber device or whatever it may be. And in front of what would be the reception desk, basically, is a team of 4 individuals. These look much more like private security. They are in suits, probably armored suits, but they're not tactical vests. They don't have helmets. They are in suits. They don't have any weapons clearly drawn. They are on the large side. Very private security-like. They stand there with their arms folded in front of them at their waist, just sort of clasp at the wrist. One of them waves their hand and sort of motions you over.
I'm going to take my helmet off and kind of sling it under my arm, just kind of give him just a really big smile. Yeah, got a telegram that we're here to see your boss, actually. Supposed to sing him a song or something like that.
Cute.
Oh, you're not too bad looking yourself.
Appreciated. Now, do we need to, You're not going to make this difficult. We don't need to pat you down and lead you with weapons.
I'm more concerned about the people outside that you sent out to basically die. So, your boss said no weapons? We got no weapons. Let's make
We're
this
here to
simple.
talk.
Very good. Well then, this way. He and one of the others branches off and walks ahead. The other two wait for you to follow and will pretty much lead you front and back further into the facility. You do see in a column just by that reception desk and dividing wall, there is a map of the facility. It looks like there are places that have kind of been, and actually after this point, 7 years, it doesn't look like, it's probably Solitaire who picks up on this probably more than Blacksmith. It doesn't match exactly the original layout vague layout that you had on file that you saw on the ship. Even that was just basic, like, architectural plans without any mention of what may be inside or how that space was used, because outdated information. But you can see here that there is a map of the facility. It does have 3 floors. The bottom one is mostly offices and other sort of non-residential community spaces. Things like some businesses were there, different services that may be provided, and of course most of the offices for visitors who would presumably come and do business at what was originally the WAC Mining Corporation. So that is the ground floor. You can also see that there is a division set off for a little hospital. The second floor is listed as mostly residential, but there is a clear dividing section. It looks like 1/3 of the area has been sort of cut off and divided. It doesn't list exactly what that is, but it has been divided as clearly demarked other than the residential living spaces. And then the third floor, because once again this is sort of like a ziggurat type building, is much smaller, and that houses the primary operations and administrative centers for this facility. And it does list it doesn't have a layout or really represent it on the map, but it does list a basement for warehouses and industrial fabrication. Not that you have too much time to study this, but you can see that this place has, and I will say this sign, the sign doesn't show any wear and tear from battle. In fact, now that you think about it, you look around, there's no bullets in walls, there's no cracked tiles. Again, it's been 7 years, and they've clearly taken the time to repair this place, and even refine this place. There's no muddy footprints tracked in here, which is surprising given the dust and mud outside. There's no graffiti on the walls that you might expect from a pirate group. There's no battle damage that hasn't been repaired. But the two of you are led further inside, and I will leave it to you if you have any further conversation with your escort. But before we get to that, is there anything the other two, Bite and Desperado, would like to do outside?
Tavik.
If I could T-pause real quick, Tavik, using your actual name on Operation would probably piss you off.
Yeah,
You are
that is why
Starblood
there was
on Operation. Yeah.
there is
Okay.
yeah there was. I realize I should clarify this and not just make it seem like I didn't realize that I'm muted. There is no response whatsoever.
I realized afterwards as well. Starblood.
Yes, Desperado.
were you made aware that that this group has some Harrison armory?
I believe it was mentioned earlier when we were scanning back when we still had the capabilities to do so, yes.
Yeah. Good. It's outdated, but it is still ever present. Just was I able to like see like what like era or like how long ago, give or take, given the way that time is woogie here?
Of something in particular? Are you talking about the soldiers' gear, or the mechs, or
The gear, the mechs, all that.
okay? I will say it's not entirely old Harrison gear, but you do notice that there is a distinct presence of old Harrison gear. But again, yeah, it looks very non-military, but mid to high end private security stuff from somewhere between 20 and 40 years ago. Which, of course, in the year cough cough many thousands in the future, 20 to 50, even 100, 150, 200 years isn't the same as saying, well, back in 1824. Or whatever, because relativistic time and technology plateaus and whatnot. So it's still useful. It's just not anywhere near top of the line equipment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Send me all of the information that you have on these. I'm a bit busy trying to ensure that you have all the time that you need, but see what I can do for you.
Speaking of which, Starblood, Desperado, I apologize for interrupting your call. Hajiri here. If you are planning an extended conversation down on the ground, I reiterate, we will need to halt our support exercises. We can only hold this for so long.
I don't know how long it's going to take, so if you all need to...
Jerry, quick estimation. How long do you think the rest of you can hold for?
If they do not have further reinforcements available, we could maintain this current engagement and harrying activities for 20 minutes, half an hour, perhaps.
You have 10 minutes.
We are mostly, of course, providing distraction. Once we are gone, it may allow them to consolidate.
Thank you, Jerry. You have 10 minutes, Uhura. Make it count. Send me what you have. I will get you whatever information I can. But please understand that if it comes down to it and the question is the lives up here working to give you time to complete your mission, or the lives down there that were lost 7 years ago, priorities lie where they lie.
There's no response.
Uhura, please confirm. It's your
There's
clock.
no response.
It's your clock ticking.
So glad I'm not there.
So glad I'm not on comms. She's 100% still trying to get people in on like a poker game. Completely oblivious to comms at the moment.
What does that look like?
Okay.
Unless there's more from Desperado.
Oh, is there? Do we have a group comms?
Yeah.
Cool. Then to the group comms. We have 10 minutes, and our support's backing out.
Down to 9. Starblood out.
All right. We'll pause the timer in the corner for a second and rewind a little bit to see what Bite has been doing to try to de-escalate the situation.
Genuinely, I believe it's not that Bite is irreverent, but they're definitely irreverent. of the situation in general, and they are genuinely sending like invitations to their mechs. Maybe we don't know
They don't
how
have
they're
mechs.
doing
These
that.
are individuals on the ground.
They're individual. Perfect, even better. So then Shiv's out on the ground and just found cards. Anybody in?
You can see a few of them take a step forward before stopping and looking around. They're all looking around, talking at each other. None of them are saying anything. And again, they're not like full body super soldier Halo Master Chief outfits here. These are like Starship Troopers, minorly sci-fied up, open faced helmets and flak jackets mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They look around. They're not saying anything to each other. A few of them just shake their head at the ones who are sort of, I guess, looking for permission or insight or advice. Some of them are shaking their heads at you. Some of them are looking back into the building.
Look, it's a weird situation, but what else are you gonna do? Stand here and stare at me? I can do magic tricks. Would you rather I do magic tricks? And I do think as a part of like a nervous tick of Siobhan just having the need to do something with her hands at all times is capable of doing little sleight of hand things. You can either suffer through my attempt at a magic show.
So one of the ones who stepped up with the original guy, who I'd remind you, whose headless corpse is on the ground.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
we're ignoring that. We aren't acknowledging that at all.
One of the ones who stepped forward with him, who was originally going to talk with Blacksmith, sort of. I know. When I referenced body cams before, I sort of did the cop at the chest sort of thing. But I think he's actually going to reach up and make to look like he is adjusting his helmet, but with his pinky, he's going to tap just above where you can see there's this little like sensor package. It's just gonna
Interesting.
just sort of look around.
Okay, with that information in mind, what do I do? Okay. I think Shiv's gonna turn, just kind of like shrug as if like, I've been waved off, whatever. It's gonna turn and now over comms to Desperado. We gotta, because you're still in your mech, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you can still do shit. There's something up with these civilians. They're being watched from their own helmets.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can try and scramble, but whoever's watching.
Who would know? Is there any way to loop footage, do you think?
I mean, you're the techie one.
I know. Okay. Gotta do something. There has to be a way to communicate with them that whoever's behind the camera can't figure out.
Okay.
Okay. I think she's gonna go back to their mech. Just be like,
Alright.
cool, I've been shoved aside, whatever. They're giving up and playing it being bored.
I think we'll swap just to so that not both of us are in. And I'm gonna, let's see. Yeah, I'll be on the outside.
All right.
That seems like the best move.
I have
If
a
you would-
terrible track record.
If you would like time to think about what you would like to do, we could jump to the other group. Unless you have
Yeah.
something. Okay. Blacksmith and Solitaire inside. You are led back behind that dividing wall, And in the center of this building, it does look like on the ground floor and sticking up into a dome that is a glass dome that looks like it provides a window between the second floor and this extended first floor, is a large garden. It's a whole sort of garden atrium inside the first floor center of this building. And of course, you walk by a number of different hallways that go down. They look like your typical office building hallways. There are a few, like, side office, full floor to ceiling, glass wall sort of corner offices for whoever, may have been in charge, the floor managers or whatnot, so that their offices were looking out over the atrium for people who may have come in to do business, or for workers to come in and have meetings with these important people, whoever they may be. A few of them are tinted, some of them are not. You assume that they use some sort of electronic fancy glass that can cloud the glass or make it translucent. You are led along the exterior of part of this garden further into the facility until you get to an elevator. And of course, the 6 of you get in this elevator. It's a little crammed with the 2 of you and 4 burly bodyguards. But you ride up. It does still have that very typical corporate elevator music. So you slowly make your way up. Since I am talking, I will call out the hydration check. Thank you very much, Miss Moon. There's no conversation unless you would like there to be.
Mostly just observing, just kind of quietly studying these guys, looking for signs of weapons, like a bulge here or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff they might have on them.
For the most part, the ones that were leading you, when you get into the elevator, they do go in last and just sort of turn and again stand, not menacingly with their arms crossed at their chest, but just sort of that polite but at the ready. The cop stands with their legs just a bit spread, their arms clasped at the wrist, just at their waist, facing you. So they're not looking away. They're not staring you down. They're not trying to be any more intimidating than just their large structure would be. But there are always 2 that are behind you and 2 that are generally in front of you. You can see that it does look like all 4 of them probably have some sort of weapon holstered at the side underneath their jacket. You do get the sense that these are they're not like $10,000 suits or whatnot, but they are nice. They fit well, maybe not expertly tailored, but they fit well for somebody of their body type, and you do get the sense that they do have some sort of interior lining or interior padding, probably some sort of ballistic padding. But at least these 4 do look trained. You can see it in their stance. You can see it in the way their eyes keep track of you and their surroundings.
Okay.
So, how long have you guys been pirates?
One of them inhales deeply, sort of breathes out his nose, and how tall is Blacksmith? Vaguely.
About 5'10".
Okay, and looks down at you. We are not pirates.
Right. What was it? Privateers? Is that what you're calling yourselves these days?
We are a legitimate microcorporation.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how long have you been doing that? What made you want to get into it? I'm just literally trying to just talk them into boredom.
I believe your questions would be more appropriate for the Commodore.
Yeah, but
But-
he's not here right now, and this music is terrible.
It is. I
Okay,
agree.
look, see, we can agree on things. Great, awesome. Look, already feeling good about this. I will say, Solitaire, you can tell there's kind of a nervous energy and excitement, just in case shit goes down.
I am glad I can put you at ease.
God. Do you have like the world's or the universe's slowest elevator or something? Like, Jesus Christ.
Ding! To move the story along. You do go up to the third floor. The elevator opens up this way. Leads you not far down the hallway. These look like yeah, Mass Effect elevator, exactly. These again look like your typical like higher level office building hallway. With actually nice doors, and some of them are glass walls, others are not. You can see there's a carpet down the stretch of it. You can see there's little potted plants here or there. It's well lit. You head down, turn a corner. You do see a sign for main operations that is pointing down a different way from where you are going. They turn you down in the opposite direction and lead you to what looks like, again, a long wall of glass that opens up into a conference room, or that you can see opens up into a conference room. There's this large sort of stretched octagon table in there, very sci-fi corporate. It has a little hollow projector in the center. Isn't doing anything at the moment, but you guys are from this era. You recognize it as a hollow projector. Very nice black leather seats. Different wall panels up that can display things, though currently they do not. And inside, sitting at one end, you see the individual that you originally saw on the communications message, Commodore Newton Riley, who is as described before in a sort of militaristic cut, military uniform cut get up, though it doesn't wear the insignia of a military group you are familiar with. It doesn't have the color of the Harrison Armory legions, but it does evoke that in form. Though he does seem to have some regalia and awards and whatnot. Who they came from and under what authority, you're not entirely sure. But he at least projects the air of somebody who has very well decorated experience in military matters. And you can see that in the way he stands. He's not sat in the chair, he stands behind the chair. Again, that sort of legs just spread a little, arms crossed at the waist. He's clean shaven. He has this slicked back black military cut hair that's a little salt and peppered on the sides. He does watch you through the glass as you approach, and even motions a hand up and welcomes you all inside. Behind him you see another 4 of these private security guard type people. The ones who lead you move on ahead, and both of them open up the large glass double doors and motion you inside. Welcome to the Hawkwood Company installation here on Drespel 1. I am Commodore Newton Riley. I'm currently in command of this facility and this operation. I welcome you to have a conversation. Please sit down and please introduce yourselves.
I'm going to take a seat, put my helmet on the table. Oh, I'm Blacksmith.
Such informal names, you mercenary pilots have, but if that is what you prefer.
No, that's what you can call me. I can tell my friends my actual name, and quite frankly, we're not friends. Mr. Riley.
He looks at you square in the eye, and any sort of joviality leaves his face. Commodore.
Commodore. My mistake. Won't happen again.
He gives you that head nod like, no, it won't.
Solitaire will pop the seal on his helmet, and you get that hiss of escaping air. Slide it off and set it on the table and sit down. It's like, Commodore, you can call me Solitaire. Now, it's our understanding that this here facility some years ago was taken by force by you and yours.
So he sits down once the both of you have. Two of the ones behind him stay up. Two of the ones sit down between you and him at the end seat. And two of the ones who brought you in sit down behind you while the other two stand at the door. Yes, blacksmith, Solitaire. This outpost was... I try to find the nicest possible way to put this, because I do understand it was a tad problematic. But yes, we replaced the management of this current mining facility.
Care to explain why?
This leads me to why exactly I invited you in. As I said, I believe it was to you, blacksmith. There is a number of unknowns that you are working with, and many of those unknowns are even unknown to you. I can assume that you have it instilled in you that this is some sort of marauding pirate force who has raided and occupied this facility. I would like to, hopefully, by the end of this meeting, dispel that. We are a legitimate corporation and company who saw resources that were underappreciated and underutilized. It was unfortunate that the facility had to be taken with the measures we were forced to use. But I will own that.
Why was it that, you expect to negotiate with us? Why couldn't you have negotiated so well then?
Because, blacksmith, I assume you are here under the authority of, presumably, the Union. You are not a local mercenary force, not one I recognize. Clearly not one who has been stationed on this planet, unless you have been laying low for quite some time. There was an attempt made to broker a deal with this installation, with this mining operation, and unfortunately the negotiations did not go in our favor. And we are not in a position to take no, unfortunately. In times of great stress, great deeds are required.
So it's desperation then.
You may believe that
It was desperation. You seem to be very cozy here at the time.
You may believe that desperation may goad some pride out of me, but the greatest acts come from desperation. You know yourself best, and you perform best when there are no other options. So yes, there is a threat out there who drove us to this. And that is what I would like to talk about. Unless you would
That's
like to
good,
stay hung
because
up on the past.
I would dearly love to know what drove you to think that you had no other choices in this matter than to use force on these folks.
I know the Union likes to claim that they are out on the rim, their far stations and their observatories. But there are far more of us that were fired out and forgotten decades, centuries past, who are farther forward in the galaxy than anything Union has thus caught up on. Obviously, it takes some time to get out there, and it takes some time to get back. And for the most part, because of that time and that difficulty, those who go out that far don't come back. I have. There is something out there. Something, someone. I say like this is some strange cosmic monster, boogeyman. I don't know if it is...
Vague.
Well, I will admit there is not a lot of information. Whether this is some long-forgotten branch of humanity like the Onyx, whether this is some alien race we have yet to come across, whether this is a corporation that has kept to itself, I could not say. But there is destruction out among the Rim, and I do mean the Rim. Not what Union considers the Rim, but out in the wild vastness of the void. There are rumors out there. Rumors that I have seen, at least the effects of. Whole fleets torn apart. Planets depopulated. And so, some of those out there, who were forward-thinking, with experience to lead, migrated back inward to prepare.
And being the legitimate corporation that you are, you decided that the best course of action was to kick a bunch of people out of their home by force and not notify anybody Union for this at all, so that way we could, to make a more
We are not
united
part
front.
of your Union.
Oh, we gathered that.
Yeah.
Nor has your Union made any attempts to make us feel at home.
Well, you did just sort of waltz in, kick some folks out, and then put the rest of them into slavery.
As far as you know.
Right, yeah, here's the thing, is we're diaspora kids ourselves. We know how it can get rough.
Again, what Union calls the Rim the diaspora. Colony kids.
Yeah, third generation myself, so fucking what?
And you had the luxury, the privilege, to run back to the Union. And here we are. We don't have that. We didn't have that. We had to make our own way. And so we did. And thus was born the Hawkwood Company.
Right.
Right,
Problem with the
right,
Hawkwood
okay.
Company right now, though, is that you really pissed off some people. And quite frankly, the way that I'm seeing this is that it could get really bad.
So, I mean,
Very much
so
could.
I think there's a. Let me just clear this up here because I think there is a fundamental misunderstanding about this particular conversation and our presence here and everything. Is you like to use the word negotiation and such, but so far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, Blacksmith, but we don't have any authority to negotiate. So you see, regardless of, and trust me, I'm very interested in what you're saying. I would love to sit here for hours and pick your brain and figure out here all of this because frankly, this is fascinating to me, and I would love to know more.
Can be arranged.
But it doesn't matter a whole lot at this particular moment because the two of us, we're not here. We don't have the authority here to say, okay, y'all can stay. This is not a negotiation. We're here to let you know that either you stand down and you come back with us to explain this to other folks that are in a better position, or they turn this planet into glass and pick up what's left over. And everything that you have gone through to come back here and, I don't know, prepare for what this threat might be, it's ashes, dust in the wind, and you have wasted every minute since you came back here. Or you tell those folks to stand down. You don't kill any more civilians. We take you to talk to someone who actually has the authority and the power and the resources to help you out. So that whatever got you running scared, that maybe we can deal with it.
He sits and listens to your little speech, keeps his eyes locked on you, mulls it over. I would like to ask if you have any skill triggers that would help you in what sounds like intimidation.
He's not necessarily trying to be intimidating, more just
It may
fact.
be, in your mind,
But-
factual, but it is
Yeah.
intimidation.
Yeah. Not really. No, all my skill triggers are playing with machines and stuff.
Yeah. So, I would like for you to. It's just a flat roll then. This is going to be. I will say, if you have a particular outcome for this that you would like to have, we can make this a roll. It will be a risky roll. Or if you would rather not roll and risk the mechanical consequences that may occur by failing or even succeeding a risky check, we can just continue to have this as role play.
I mean, I'm fine with rolling it, I guess, just to see what happens. I mean, in his mind, he is just trying to convince this guy to see reason and take the logical outcome. So it's probably going to be terrible, just so y'all know.
Love it. For our listeners, well, we don't have a dice box on the screen, but for our podcasters, if I keep this in, that was a natural 1.
Oh, because God, the dice hate me.
So he sits there, he listens to what you had to say, his eyes locked on you, not necessarily in a menacing way. Occasionally looks over at Blacksmith, who I'm sure has some sort of, encouraging, yeah, that's right, sort of thing. Takes a deep breath, and he sort of stands up and props himself up on the desk. And we're going to cut back to the other two. And it should also be mentioned that
question.
we are definitely at that 10 minutes.
I have a question actually.
Yes.
Assuming that Logan is sending that information, is there anything I could do to see if maybe I can offer any insight into potential ways to deal with it?
Can you be more specific?
Well, it was mentioned that there's a bunch of old Harrison tech. Havoc is in the unique position to have probably the most knowledge about Harrison tech out of anyone here.
Most of it's before your time, but you've probably seen it, yeah.
Would I be able to roll something or otherwise try and garner information from the things that he sends me about, or things I might know about those pieces of equipment or how to deal with them?
By how to deal with them. Because we're talking about a lot of stuff here. Orbital defenses, some of them were Harrison. Some of the installations were Harrison. I'm sure the V-17s had some old Harrison parts in them. The mechs that you were not here to see last time were actually off-the-line Harrison, but again, like 30 to 50 years ago.
Sure.
And then, of course, there's ground equipment, some of which is Harrison. The way it is presented in the book, at least, is that when we are rolling, we start with what outcome you would like to see.
Yes.
Are you looking for a particular outcome, or are you just looking for like backstory, world building information about what these things are?
I am looking for the best. I'm looking for a way that I could reliably provide them with information that will give them a better chance at getting out of here in one piece through whatever means I can, with information about the technology that is part of what's being weaponized against them is. Whether it be weak points in the builds, or whether it be a way to disrupt some of the ground equipment, so that they don't have to deal with artillery or anything like that. Or even if there's a way to figure out what sort of like manufacturing kits they're using to keep these things functional within the facility, so that we could cripple them in the long term, even if we can't do it right now.
Yeah. Do you have a skill trigger?
I
Aside from just being Harrison.
I would I mean, no, I would wonder if maybe read a situation. I know that's stretching it a little bit, but I wonder if maybe read a situation might be able to work here. I know that's usually more for like direct, like confrontation situations that I'm in front of, but looking for like subtext, looking for ways to deal with the situation. Maybe. Again, I know it's kind of a stretch.
Control F is failing me. Do you have what read a situation?
Yeah, look for subtext, motive, or threats in a situation or person.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds more like a combination of insight and investigation if we're talking D&D terms.
No, yeah, that's totally fair.
I will say, just like Sean's argument for spot before, I will give you a +1 with that. But I will also give you +2 accuracy because you are Harrison. This is just going to be a regular check. So you got a good chance. D20 +1 plus 2d6.
Okay, cool. Let me just make sure I have this typed in right. I think I did this right.
Even with that, just scraping by with a 10 on a DC 10. Excellent. So, obviously, you know that Harrison products are meant to be reliable and sturdy.
Sure.
So, when it comes to actually disabling or interfering with, like, ground combatant stuff, and it's not like you can send out a jamming signal and turn off ballistic firearms.
Sure.
You can't really deactivate a combat vest. And you don't see any artillery other than the four smoking corners of. Well, actually, you're not here, but there were turrets along the corners of the defensive wall around the HQ that are currently quite thoroughly destroyed. Well, actually, I think at least two of them were only taken out technologically. One of them unscrewed itself off the wall, so maybe one of them may actually be repairable and functional, but currently not. But let's see. As far as the mechs, you would identify them as an old line of legionary mechs. Just going off of the description and brief scans that Desperado would have been able to send you, since you weren't there to fight them. Pretty typical off the line, like, grunt soldier mechs. Grunt soldier, up in the echelon of actually being mobile cavalry.
Sure.
But, fairly basic, and again, a few decades out. As we saw them perform last week, they're not terribly impressive. They are only really a threat when they, line up as a legion. Of course, as far as anybody is concerned, you've not seen any others. I will say, if either they brought them here originally, or they were manufactured and probably kept up with over, again, almost a decade, there's probably, like, an actual industrial fabrication place here. Of course, this is a mining colony. It could have just been tweaked from the industrial fabrication facilities that were on site to help create, the loader trucks and because everything on this planet was either brought with them in their ships or was built here on planet. So they obviously have facilities here on planet. But the fact that they have the licenses to make these things and the materials to keep them up, and it most likely would have required modifications to make these specific things, because there's no reason why an industrial fabrication plant would necessarily have the ability to create mass amounts of rifles or mech cockpits or whatever it may be. I feel like I'm rambling, so I will just ask, does that answer your question?
Yeah. So just to make sure I'm understanding right. So it doesn't sound like there's anything that will immediately ensure that they are able to. The short answer is not especially.
I will say, with that, you have enough information that you could pass along to Lich and or Bite that may help them crack communications. If they are using old Harrison communication arrays and presumably programming.
Okay. So I think there's a moment of, because obviously Starblood right now is multitasking. He's both trying to go through his own mind and go through whatever data he has with him as he is actively engaged, and is barking commands back and forth. And then just about as he sort of like, you see Throne sort of like latch onto another larger like chassis and just sort of bury the giant sort of heavy sword that it carries on its back through its chest. And then as he sort of like pushes off of it, you see a screen pop up on the inside, and he goes, Lynch,
Yes, Starblood.
come in. How are things going on your end?
I believe I am tracking all detected hostiles on my radar. I am providing jamming options and tactical assessments, as I know.
Lovely. Let's kick that up a notch. I'm going to be sending you some information. I need you to see if you can take that and get yourself into their communication system. If you manage to make it in, I need you to take that information and send it on along to Kerry on the ground. Can you do that?
You can see there was a wide smile forming on his thin lips up until you said, pass it along to Carrie. Are you sure that's wise? I can handle this myself.
I would like you to take care of it and then send it their way so that they can properly utilize it based on the situation that they find themselves in.
I will pass along what I find.
Starblood out. And then I think Starblood, looking at you're realizing the time and what they're coming up on, is going to begin working his way towards disengagement on his end.
Mm-hmm. So, that is a good point. This is when Hajiri, or Lisbeth Hazamalaki, as you know her, would come back over comms to pretty much the entire engagement. Starblood, the 10 minutes you ordered has elapsed.
I'm aware.
Starblood, Desperado, since you were last point of contact. Update, sitrep, advise. We cannot hold this engagement.
Uhura?
To comms, personal comms. Support is disengaging. So, it's just us. Back to our support team. Understood.
Falling back
What's
to
the
rally
situ-
point.
Hold. Uhura, sit rep now.
Would you say Ahura?
Yes.
Okay.
He's been doing it the whole time.
Yep. Just
The whole
just
time.
clarifying. Yep.
Oh,
Yep, the whole time.
such an asshole.
My team is still inside.
No updates?
If I had one, I would have given one to you. You are disengaging. Understood.
And then you can hear the connection. You can hear the comms cut. But there's on Hajiri's side, there's a hold on the communication. And then once Desperado is disconnected, take supports, pull back, take what you can out on the way. I will.
Let me ask just to clarify, because you do keep going personal comms or whatever. There are operational comms that you guys connect all of your operation through, and then
Yes.
if you want to talk to each other individually, you can turn radio to channel 43 or whatever it is, sort of thing. Otherwise, you're all on the same channel. If you talk, everybody hears you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. This is specifically purposely because, yeah.
Okay, so you're giving Azamalaki mission orders through personal comms.
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Take support. Disengage. Take out what you can along the way. I'm going to go make sure that they don't all die.
I will remind you, my dear, since we are on personal comms, that this is not protocol. You are the operation leader. here, you should be communicating with the entire operation. I will relay this, and we will fall back to the rally point. I will, however, also caution, both because I care, and as your second, to consider whether your position as Operation Command is with us and the support team, or babying them. It sounds like, at least for now, they have it under control.
I've seen firsthand what happens when they go from having it under control to not. And if we don't accomplish our primary objective here, now, it's going to become exceedingly more difficult the next opportunity we have, if we have another opportunity. I'm making a judgment call, not to stroke my own ego for the sake of the mission.
We knew this operation could take time. It was our orders to scramble their detection and defensive forces long enough for them to create a foothold and perform reconnaissance and whatever operation they needed to secure this. We seem to have fallen into a believed necessity to push and push hard since Miss Carey's initial screw-up. Private comms.
Yep.
If you think you can render them assistance without disrupting whatever operation they are performing, and you think that is important to the success of this mission, you are in command, and I will maintain our support forces at the rally point.
There's a moment of quiet, followed by what sounds like a heavy thud.
Now, my dear, don't take it out on Throne.
Or pulling back.
Affirmative. I assume we zoom out of the cockpit and see Throne in his alabaster white and red cape? Red?
Purple.
Purple capelet, sort of burn retrograde and zoom off backwards.
There's a moment where he just sort of lingers there in the air. And then you hear, just as like laid over, you hear Starblood's voice giving the command to pull back instead of letting Ajiri do it. And then as everyone else burns out, he's sort of the last one there for a moment, and then he pulls back.
All right. Now, back to the... I love splitting the group 3 ways, which I say legitimately. Back to the 2 outside, Desperado and Bite. What are you guys up to? We last left Bite. You were considering a way of communicating with these people who seem to be under constant surveillance due to their own sensor suites in their helmet.
Yes. At the moment, I've historically done very bad on these hacking rolls, which is unfortunate considering it's my thing. What's it called? But essentially, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so we can't do anything that's visual. Do I think there's a workaround where they can communicate with me via audio that wouldn't be tracked? Like if I went over their comms in a back channel.
Well, I mean, it's probably recording their voice as it speaks, so even if you might be able to communicate with them undetected, but if they reply, that would probably be picked up by their sensor suite.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, I will say, just thinking low tech, the easiest solution is just to take the helmet off and chuck it somewhere. Of course, that might have its own consequences, because they took their helmet off and chucked it somewhere.
Yeah. Shit. Okay, I'll relay my quandary with Desperado.
Okay.
Right. What do we do?
If we get rid of the helmets, regardless, someone's going to know. But we kind of need to talk to them.
Yeah, but the last guy who tried to talk turned into red mist, so I'm a little hesitant to really do anything.
Okay, well, all of them have pretty much, well, most of them have calmed.
You're
So-
cutting in and out, Q.
Okay.
Don't know if you can do anything about that, but just pointing it out.
Literally, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, we need to speak to them. So, which way is the least painful?
Okay, wait, I have an idea.
Okay.
Probably not a great one. Okay, so Jack, I would like to try to hack into their audio comms, knowing that they cannot respond to me verbally. But we're gonna play a little game of Simon Says.
Okay. All right. Give me a hack check. I know you have the
Sure.
skill trigger, so that's 1d20 plus 2. Do I want to make this risky? I'm going to say no. We're going
Okay.
about it smart. I'm not going to make this risky. This is just straight roll.
Third time's the charm, right? I can't be that bad at
Gotta
it.
be. It's gotta be. Come on.
Scrape it
Sure.
by with a 10. You only need a 10.
Why
You
does
need a 10 or
Boundary
above.
hate us?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
All right.
Okay.
As far as you know, you can communicate. As far as you know, you've isolated the comms channel for these individuals and can communicate in audio to them. But they could communicate back, but they probably won't.
Yeah. All right, then over these comms, just gonna. All right, everybody, stay cool. Stay cool. You can hear me. They can hear you.
You say
Don't
stay
say
cool,
anything.
and all of them freak out and start looking around like,
It's the opposite. Opposite of staying cool.
guys, literally shifts over the comms. Go, guys, stop it. Right.
Sorry, just quick pause. Lion, I saw you hold up something vaguely reddish. I'm sure that's okay. Cool.
It's Lion making fun of us. It's
Gotcha.
great.
Gotcha.
It's just
I didn't think we
non-verbal
hit any red
power.
card, but just making sure.
No. Okay. It's a RIP.
Sorry.
It's backwards.
Yeah, these guys are slowly like trying to calm themselves down.
All right. Since I'm outside, I'm like,
What?
breathe.
Let me ask, just because Desperado would certainly be aware of the situation. If you are outside, you are being observed, visually and audibly. Are you participating in this ruse of there's nothing going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Bite.
Okay. All right, my guys. We're going to play a little game. And it's going to be don't act suspicious. Like you just did. That was really weird, guys. I got some questions, and we're going to answer in interesting ways to keep from being detected. If you would like. If you would like to not answer, just don't follow directions. Cool. You're untrained civilians. If that is true, tap your left foot.
you see most of them tap their left foot. They don't look
Interesting.
down. They if anything, they are being suspiciously still, but yeah, it may be better than the
Yeah.
alternative.
Better than nothing, I guess. Okay. Cool. Then I'm going to start paying attention to the people who have responded. I'm going to ignore the people who haven't as either too scared or not wanting to be involved. That's whatever. The people outside are all of the people they have available to fight us. If true, tap your left foot. Okay. If there's more than double the available... Sorry, let me rephrase that. If there's twice as many people inside available to fight, tap your left foot.
A few of them quickly and multiple times tap their left foot.
Ho ho ho, okay. Cool, 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 cool. Thank you. Shit. Desperado, what do we need to know?
I mean, we need specific questions. All of the bases are set to blow. You think they know that?
Probably. Okay, yeah. Are all the civilian bases set to blow? Left foot.
Quite a few of them look at you and their eyes just go wide.
Oh, fuck! I don't think you knew
See,
that.
they start breathing a little heavier again. They're no longer suspiciously still. They're going back to twitching and looking around at each other.
Okay, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. It's fine.
Okay. All right, next one. There are more of the civilians than there are trained personnel.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
No, sorry. To clarify, because I assumed that was Desperado talking to Bite. Desperado,
yes,
are you walking up and asking pointed questions to these people who have cameras on you?
No. No, you're not.
No.
Okay.
We're
No,
smarter
it's
than that.
perfect.
Sorry.
It's
I
fascinating, but
was waiting on
wrong.
Haley to relay the question with the standard tap your foot response. But
Yeah,
assuming
yeah.
she did
Well,
so, yes, they would
yeah.
again rapidly tap their, well, not rapidly, but they tap their foot a couple times,
Okay.
signaling
Okay.
yes that there are actually some of the ones who were tapping their foot sort of stop, and you can get that thinking face, and then one of them taps their foot, then a couple of them tap their foot, another guy taps their foot twice. Get the sense they're not exactly sure, but maybe, probably, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Shit.
You see a couple of them look off over westward, just for a second, and then snap back.
what's westward?
They can't reply like that.
I'm looking. What is westward?
Currently,
What do I
you are
see?
looking at a 30-foot tall wall, but you can
Maybe
head
distant from
over
above.
to the journal tab and pull up our map, as you know it, of the Drespel mining facility. There we are.
Okay, so the arcology complex in the shanty town. Okay.
Okay.
So the audience can see.
All right, so to the west is, yeah, rocks and a shanty town, which I imagine is where most of the people are. The explosions didn't come from there, right?
The explosion did come sort of northwest-ish, likely from the mining pit.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ask them if they have uh, guards outside of the shanty towns.
I'll relay that.
They look around. One of the guys just shrugs.
There's nowhere to run.
Okay.
Do you think if we evacuated those places?
Just to clarify and make sure that's not a GM to player miscommunication, that was more of a we don't know, as opposed to no,
You
there's
don't
not.
know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I got the I don't know.
That is
Okay.
worth thinking about. Like, player Haley, we're thinking about theoretically using time to evacuate the places that they're holding hostage. If we think that's
Possible. It's possible, but I imagine somebody if they're this good, even with their civilians using monitors, they're for sure gonna do it in the bases.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to cut away so you can contemplate your next actions?
I think so.
Okay. I saw motion from your side of the screen line. Were you raising your hand or stretching about?
You're muted.
Sorry about
Double
that.
You're muted.
And double muted is what I was. Yeah. No, I was. So I wasn't raising my hand. I was unmuting my microphone, which muted my microphone. So I then had to mute my microphone and unmute myself on Discord.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that. So I do have a question. Because it's never that easy with Starblood.
Is this a question we should ask before or after the break we're about to take?
Oh, we can ask it during the break. That's fine.
Okay. Let us then pause there in suspense as we wait to figure out what Desperado and Bite are going to do with the most dangerous game of charades and a shantytown, and what the Commodore has to say in response to the natural one that Solitaire's rather nice speech has elicited. So we're gonna get up, do the human things, do a short repair of our own in the real world. Suggest you guys get up, stretch, get some water, touch some grass, whatever you need to do, but make sure you are back here in about 10 minutes because we got a lot more stuff to do, and I'm really excited to see where these guys go and what happens, because this could go a lot of different ways, and I'm excited for it. So we'll be right back. Enjoy some tunes. Hello, and welcome back for the continuation of the Starcrier Conflict. We're going to pick up pretty much right where we left off, and I think we're going to start with the boardroom meeting between Blacksmith, Solitaire, and the Commodore Newton Riley. Previously, before other such shenanigans outside the base, Solitaire had a rather impassioned and at least perspectively factual, not necessarily plea, but convincing negotiating speech about the Commodore. Coming with them and actually talking to people who matter. But with that, he does listen to that, locks eyes with you, sort of looks down, takes in a breath, and does abruptly stand up and just sort of post himself up over the desk you're all sat at, table you're all sat at. As I said, we are not part of your union, and they've made a point to make sure we are aware of that as well. Now, I assume, since they did not send an armada of their ships, that this planet is not on their high priority list, in that you are, presumably, in some sort of authority. So, I make a plea to you two as individuals. Whether you are representatives of your union or not, I don't need to convince the entire union. I don't care to convince the entire union. I will try. I have tried. We have tried. And if they choose to ignore, that's on them. But you are not Navy. I presume. I see no uniform, I see no insignia. And yet, from what I understand, you were sent here by them. So that means you are either entirely dispensable and they don't care about this place at all, or you are some sort of deniable intermediary. I have played this game a long time, Solitaire. So no, I will not be returning to you and whichever far station it is that sent you out here. But I will, and he sort of leans off of the desk, I will invite you as you requested to stay here and continue this conversation for as long as you need to understand. And then I will let you leave, and you can bring it back to your union to advise them however you will. But the threat is out there, and the Hawkwood Company will find and utilize the resources to protect us and ours, whether the union sanctifies it or not, sanctions it or not.
I think we need to be honest about the situation that you find yourself in. You've pissed off somebody upstairs. And if you think that you're going to be able to hold this spot, protect yourselves with a rabble of, quite frankly, outdated arms and armaments with civilians that it seems as though you have more or less forced them into working for you, you're not going to stand a chance. The four of us blew past most of your defenses like it was damn near nothing. Now, I suggest I am more than willing to talk. But for the time being, the people that you forced to work for you, release their contracts, and why don't you come with us to talk? By all means, I'm sure we can open up lines of communication between yourselves and our higher-ups.
I am happy to talk right here. To you two, to the rest of your team. Presumably there are quite a number of you out there, according to our damage reports. And we can uplink to wherever you give us access to. But I am not going with you. And, however, I will, should we come to some sort of understanding, find some way to transfer some of our workforce who needs transferring out. But we do have an arrangement with the people here. And you will find that they are free to go if they choose to.
Is that why you have their workplaces set for demolitions? That you can activate remotely?
Not everyone who we have welcomed into our family has been so eager. Like I said, we will identify and use the resources we need. Believe me, I don't like it either. Now, if you can provide me alternatives, we can work with that. But we needed a workforce, so we took one.
That's where the biggest
Quick
problem
question
is.
for the GM. Are we technically within Union space right now?
From a far station, if you ask Union, yes.
The thing is, by taking this workforce, making them work for you, you're already in violation of one of the major standards of Union. Now, you can say that you're not Union, you can say that you're not within space, whatever. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit.
The way Union has changed, it is a damn shame. If they want, like I said, blacksmith. It sounds unusual without the formal Mr., but I assume you prefer without it. Blacksmith. I have been at this for a long time. Now, if Union would like to send an armada and glass this little planet, by all means, I welcome them. But if they were going to, if this place was that important, we would not be having this conversation. This is not the only tantalum mine in the Union. This is a small operation with people out on what the Union considers the rim. And they sent you because you were the closest thing they had that wouldn't cost them much. You are the thin line between Union and the vast nothing that most of the actual diaspora lives in.
You SecCom?
He straightens up. Just stares at you.
I'll take that as a yes.
Explains a lot.
We are members of a union that has grown soft in the time since we left. As I said, you are among a civilized land, but civilized lands will still protect themselves. And civilized lands will still govern themselves. So, whether you label us SecCom or third comm. Whatever the Hawkwood Company is, it is not the Union. Whether now or then, we are what we have grown to need out in the void between those times. Because believe me, the Union does not stretch as far as it thinks it does, and it does not see as far as it thinks it does. Or else it is simply not paying attention, or does not care about those they sent before them. Now, I admit we have taken harsh measures in the past. But great times necessitate great deeds. And I don't mean great as in good, because we must live in reality, in the pragmatism that requires, not the idealism that apparently Union has become. But I am not heartless, and I am not a monster. And, quite frankly, I do not represent the whole of the Hawkwood Company. But there is much more of us out there. I simply had the good fortune of being one of the first few back. To the great, ever-expanding Union space.
As he's talking, I want to use my data plating subdermal back here, and I'm sub-vocalizing a message out on our comms to Blacksmith has his helmet off, but Bite and Desperado should be able to get it. Basically just saying that this guy is a SecCom, not refugee, survivor. Pass it on. People need to know. The higher ups need to know that.
I assume this is, again, operational comms.
Well, I'm just using my data plating, so I don't imagine it can get like the actual.
Okay, no, actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Operational things.
Yeah.
But it should still be able to connect with,
Yeah.
those of us
that
who
makes
are
sense.
in closer proximity.
Yeah, you can tap into the local radios of Bite and Desperado.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Too far for Starblood to hear, unfortunately.
Okay. I will relay it through our channels. Commodore is a sitcom survivor. Just figured you'd want to know that, Starblood.
SecCom?
Mm-hmm.
Explains a lot of the Harrison merchandise. It also means it's very unlikely that in the amount of conversation is going to get what you're looking for here.
What should we do then?
A worse position now than you were before. Lost the support team. Now, you need to get the rest of your squad out of there immediately.
Shiv bites back something sassy. Because, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Can you make an opening? We're not getting out of airspace without help.
I will also remind you, your mechs don't have the thrust to make it to orbit. You would need to get your dropship to land, which of course means going through the defense grid. The plan was you were going to secure this place and then leave. You cannot leave without securing this place. Just
Right.
make that clear.
Now,
unless you
remind me,
commandeer a ship, but you haven't seen one.
we are supposed to capture or kill this guy, right?
That is your standard primary objective with the information that
Probably the best way that you're
Command
going to be able to
understands.
accomplish what we're here to accomplish.
Yeah.
I mean, preference would be arrest. Yeah.
Look, at the moment,
Let me actually pause you here because your helmet is off and you're in a board meeting with the Commodore right now.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you communicating?
Oh no, I'm talking to him.
Okay, the Commodore. Gotcha. Dropping back into the scene.
Yeah. Look. I think we have fundamentally different ways of thinking. The only way that this ends peacefully is if you call off your men, you surrender yourself to us, and then we go have a good talk.
We do have fundamentally different understandings and philosophies about what is going on here, because that is not the only way I see it. I am trying to reach out and meet you somewhere halfway. I will speak to you, and you can choose to be representatives or not. And if so, and you can spin this however you like, we can arrange for a better, more experienced workforce. We can even arrange to supply some of our tantalum back to Union, as the WAC would have before us. We are not monsters. But
our mission is to secure this facility. I'm going to just put that out plainly for you. Now, whether you want to still be here and get to work in it...
What stops me from putting a bullet through both of your brains right now?
I'm just going to smile at him. Yeah, so, fun fact, and I'm just going to tap my chest. I've got one of the later hard suits. Do you?
Your helmet's off. I'm a good shot.
Commodore, quite frankly, you're starting to piss me the fuck off.
We can sit here and engage with threats for as long as I care to endure it, and I don't have that much patience.
I'm gonna look over at Solitaire. You give him one more chance.
Maybe it's time we make our way out.
Solitaire, from what I understand, you are the more reasonable of the pair here. Your associate would like to leave and have his tantrum with your other associates elsewhere. As I said, you are free to walk away. Just as I have said, I extend the invitation for you to stay here, and I will tell you all about what I have seen out there, and we can have a civilized conversation between civilized people, without the threats and the pomp and the chest beating, because quite frankly, I don't care. And I suspect that your union cares as much as I do. Especially if there is a way for us to both get what we want. Mission parameters change on the ground. I know that better than anyone. Are you flexible enough to lead? Or are you another tool in Union's arsenal? escort this one out. He waves over to his security guards and motions over to Blacksmith, and one of them comes up and puts a big meaty hand on your shoulder, Blacksmith. Believe you are asked to leave.
Well, if he's going, I am too. I'll put my helmet back on.
That's unfortunate. I believe we would have enjoyed our conversation.
Question. Actually, not so much a question. I'd like to do something, if that's okay.
Okay.
So I know as we transitioned back to this conversation, I was currently on comms with V2 still stationed outside. And I think after he tells them that they need to get their people out of there, there's a moment, and then Carrie.
I'll let it slide. Yeah.
30 seconds, tell me as much as you can about what's in front of you, what's around you, and the level of threat that it imposes. Go.
All right.
And this is on operational comms, so this is open comms.
And Siobhan will rattle off in as much of important detail as they can in like a bullet
You have
pointed
30 seconds.
list.
Go.
Like,
In character. Go.
oh shit!
You have the
yeah,
map in
sure.
front of you.
30-foot high walls. About what is it? Like 30 civilians in combat gear. Not good combat gear. Shit.
Untrained.
I'm not untrained and scared, but held at gunpoint metaphorically. There are
Heard, proceed.
four destroyed turrets. There's some abandoned vehicles outside that might be operational. I don't know at this point. I didn't check. We have 2 men inside a complex, and I don't know exactly where because I can't track them.
No immediate communication with them.
Not other than what we just got about the Commodore.
I will also note there are a few little like guard tower things that you can see on the complex map as well.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
that
I'll
means
note
you
those
don't know.
positions.
You only know that they are there because of orbital visual confirmation.
Not a big hardware person, but there's 3 sort of guard towers. I don't know.
Heard. Anything else about the situation that we need to know immediately?
Other than that, I mean, Desperado and I aren't looking too hot mech-wise, but other than that, is what it is.
Heard.
What are
Uhura.
you thinking?
Fuck you. I use your call sign, you use mine.
Presently, do you believe that there is a route towards securing this location?
Not without heavy casualties.
Ours or theirs?
Theirs.
I don't see us getting another shot at this.
I've done the math. We're losing too many civilians if we do it that way.
We lose them all otherwise anyway.
Don't you dare. They're not just pawns. They're people.
Keep me informed on Keep me informed on the rest of your squad when you hear from them. I'll be in touch with what the plan is moving forward.
Yeah, TTYL Silver Spoon.
Starblood out.
And then I'm gonna reach out to Solitaire.
Well, unless there are any complications, since Solitaire, you said you will leave with Blacksmith, they escort you both out.
How far is the Commodore from me?
This is like a big, like, boardroom office desk, so not really within lunging distance, and you got guys with you. Yeah, you brought it. Yeah, huh, okay. 10 feet, give or take. Outside of initial melee range, unless you get real creative and roll well. But I see you may have other options. I mean, you're in the same room.
There's a guy standing behind Blacksmith, right?
Yep.
There's a guy standing behind Blacksmith with a hand on him. There's a guy standing pretty much right behind you, but you're not being touched. There are two guys behind him and two guys at the door, and a guy sitting between you and him, and a guy sitting between Blacksmith and him. There are 8 bodyguards in this room.
Okay. Gonna glance over at Athen. Slight head tilt.
I'm gonna just put my helmet back on, sigh, and if possible, I would like to try to seize control or take control, because I do have a skill trigger for that. And basically, I just want to grab the guy's hand and then throw him into the Commodore, just to try to give us a bit of a breathing room.
Perfect. Because as soon as he acts, I'm gonna grab the table. I am wearing an assault hard suit, which is powered and augments strength.
Yep.
And I'm just going to take the table and swing it left and take out anybody in the way.
Okay. All right. Well, looks like we are doing some narrative combat here. There's no initiative. There's no tokens. We reserve that for mech combat. This is still narrative play. But I ask not because I don't support you or want to dissuade you, but just to make sure, just to take a beat, you both sure this is the route you want to take.
Yeah.
All right, throwing down. Okay.
Look, it might be a bad decision, but it's a decision.
It is a decision that you are making, and I am all for it.
Idea, okay?
Yep. All right. All right. So
Sometimes bad ideas are the best ideas.
Oh, just always.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, in Lancer, there's no initiative. NPCs don't really act unless you guys, decide not to do things, and I need to push the story along. They only really react to what you do in your dice rolls. So there's not really initiative we need to worry about popcorning. But let's start with Blacksmith.
Okay.
You want to just shoulder throw this guy onto the table.
Yeah.
And you do have a skill trigger for this?
Yeah, I have take control.
Okay. I will let you roll with that, but you will also have +1 difficulty because this is like a big trained security guard.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make this is clearly a risky situation.
All right.
Okay.
It's a 12 total.
That is a success. Just confirming here, however, with risky, you still get complications even if you succeed on less than 20.
Yep.
Okay, so you you grab this guy probably up as close to the shoulder as you can, push your seat back, and just roll him over on top of the table. He was not expecting that with the quickness and strength that you were able to do so. And you do slam him down, and he hits that table hard. And simultaneously, we'll see how the dice land. Simultaneously, Solitaire, you attempt to, I know you're wearing a hard suit, you attempt to grab this large sci-fi office table and swing it through the room. And go ahead and make me, do you have a skill trigger before this?
Only if stay cool would work for it.
I don't think so. I think you are specifically not staying cool right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have a skill trigger. I will say that the hard suit allows you to do this. It is not giving you any bonus. It just maybe allows you to pull this stunt off. I am going to say that this is definitely a risky roll as well. This is clearly a risky situation. And I gotta give you a dice of difficulty as well, because it's a whole conference room table with 8 guys in the room.
Well, let's see here. Ooh, I roll. So that's a 19. Wait, why did I give it? That should only be a... So it's a 13 total.
It's a 13, yeah. So you likewise still succeed with complication. Okay. So this goon slams down on the table, and Solitaire, you take that opportunity to heave it up. You can feel that it was not necessarily bolted to the floor, but it's a big, like, made of metal table. You are basically performing the job of a forklift right now. Which for a personal hard suit is what it's meant to do, but it is, performing at the peak capabilities of your hard suit. And these aren't personal mechs, these aren't size 1/2 mechs. But you lift up the table and swing it. Now, the room is a rectangle, and the table is longer than the room is wide. But you can pick it up, and you can kind of, I guess, more than like helicopter blade trying to, just heave it through, you can kind of just like flip the table up and over sort of way. Yeah. So you're still only going to be able to hit so much of this, but you do slam the table including the guy on top of it, into the guy next to Blacksmith and one of the guys behind the Commodore, sending the Commodore having to jump to the side.
As my helmet goes on, I'm just going to open comms and just be like, shit went sideways.
Okay. With that, you see the Commodore actually reaches down behind his back and pulls out what looks like a very old plasma pistol.
So sorry about that.
No worries.
Clicked the wrong button.
I know Desperado does a lot of tinkering with weapons. I believe, actually, both Blacksmith and, to a degree, Solitaire do some tinkering with weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any sort of skill trigger that has to do with history or weapon manufacturing
I don't.
or anything you might be able to spin on identifying this weapon?
Not unless Spot does.
Not really. But go ahead and just roll me a regular flat D20 check. Simple, no modifiers, just D20, gotta beat a 10.
Oh, there's a natural 20.
That's a 6 for me.
Yeah, Blacksmith, you don't know, you don't care. You're throwing down right now. Solitaire, you do catch this, and this is actually kind of impressive, but also like really outdated. This is an old Harrison Armory Durandal Y630. This is a weapon from at least 200 years ago. At least. This is a weapon that has not seen active service for over 200 years, or about 200 years. Now, that being said, technology hasn't progressed to the point where it's a squirt gun. I mean, it's still dangerous, and it looks like it's in good condition. It doesn't look old. It doesn't look like it's fallen apart. I mean, it could just all be spit and polish. You're not sure. But this was like a top of the line sidearm for Harrison Armory military. You know, a couple centuries past.
Obligatory. It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I will also point out for anybody watching this, screaming about the timeline, yes, I know SETCOM was somewhere around 1,000 years ago. I know. I can hear it in the comments section. But hey, you're commenting. It's all engagement to me. But the Commodore reaches back and pulls out this ancient Y630 and just looks to one of the guards. Secure them. And just shoots out the window next to him, leaving this... And actually, you can see this shot. You've never seen a Y30 fired because it's older than your great-grandparents. But it probably shouldn't have done that. It vaporized a circle in the glass there. And he steps through and with two risky complications. One is he shoots and leaves. The other... Yeah, you know what? I think he's just going to turn in and just lay some covering fire for his own retreat and his men. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. He just starts firing this plasma pistol, and you can see it's shooting out these little bolts of glowing yellow greenish energy, and where they hit, it very much is like Star Trek Klingon disruptor. Like, it just blasts a hole and vaporizes something. So he blasts a hole into the glass here, kicks out enough that he can step through, and just lays some covering fire, blasting holes in the wall, blasting holes in the table that's been upended, leaning against the wall. You guys probably like jump back and duck down behind the table, but you also see that there are now, well, 3 guys on the floor, still 5 more people in this room who are currently drawing sidearms.
Considering I had slammed the guy into the table, is it possible for me to still like disarm him at this time and then maybe try to take out 1 or 2 of these guys? I do have to take someone out.
Yeah. I mean, are you trying to get into a 2-on-8 fight and just hold your ground and brawl?
Ideally, I would like to chase after the Commodore and take his ass out, but I don't know if that's a possibility.
What would you like to do, to clarify?
I mean, for me, it would be either thin the numbers or just make a dash after the Commodore as fast as I could.
Okay. Both are options. That is up to you. They both have clear complications and difficulty.
Yeah. All right, Solitaire, fuck this. I'm going after him.
Copy. I'm going to open my communications and I'm basically going to leave the comm open. Track my signal if you can. Find us an exit. And I'm, hauling ass after this guy. And I want to try to use... So my hard suit has burst EVA capability.
Okay.
Which obviously doesn't do much in atmosphere. But if I can use it to, help maneuver a little faster, push myself forward a little bit as I'm like running or something.
This isn't a jetpack. This is
right. That's why I'm saying I know it doesn't do much in it.
It's just like a tiny little burst of air just for that little extra speed.
I don't think it's giving you any extra speed.
All right.
This is designed to operate in near zero gravity, outside of atmosphere. These are, you could probably blow harder than these things.
Hey Jack, real quick, I sent you something just to confirm something.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No worries. Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Gotcha. Blacksmith, you are trying to push past the guards and go straight after the Commodore.
Yeah.
Sorry, to clarify, Solitaire, outside of probably not helpful, not jetpack maneuvering thrusters, what are you trying to do?
Pop it in their face, though.
What are you trying to do? What is the outcome you were looking for?
No, I'm chasing after the guy too.
You're also okay. So you guys are both trying to ignore and just get away from the security. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, is this risky or is it heroic? Because it's 2 against 8, well trained, with sidearms, strategically positioned to impede your movement.
Now, a counterpoint though, we are 2 of the best in the academy right now.
You are 2 of the best cadets in
the academy, though.
you are 2 of the best pilot cadets in this Far Station's academy. Yes. I mean, you're number 2 and wherever Solitaire lies. But yes. Sorry, my Starblood's showing through. Okay. Blacksmith, I know you have something for taking somebody out, but you're not really taking somebody out.
Yeah, I have taken control and take someone out.
Yeah, but you're not really taking somebody out. You're leaving.
Yeah,
you're not really taking control. You're trying to leave the situation, which is not really taking control of the situation.
Well, it just says use force, violence, presence, will, or direct action to take control of something.
I'll give you the +1. Okay. Solitaire, do you have anything?
All I can argue is for is stay cool, perform something under concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure. And I'm trying to be fast and precise to get away from these guys.
I'll give you that one. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Of all the ways this could have gone. Let's see. I am going to give you guys... I can't give you +8 difficulty for the 8 goons in here guarding you. Let's see. I am going to give you +1... The problem is, I don't think there's really any way you can make a heroic check.
And considering license level 0, probably
at license level 0. So I don't feel like, in good faith, I can mechanically give you a heroic level check, even though this would probably be a heroic level challenge. We'll talk about this in the after show. So, I'm going to give you +2 difficulty and a risky check. Doable, but not great.
I mean, for me, it's impossible now.
Really?
With only a +1 and 2 difficulty, yeah.
Well, you just need to beat a 10 to succeed. You just will have consequences.
10.
All right.
Let's see. That is... it's a 7
That's
for me.
under 10. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And since it was already risky, you can't push without it becoming heroic. And you're not going to succeed on heroic. So, what happens here? We see the 2 of you try to vault over this table that has been upended by Solitaire. You do both manage to get a hold of it. However, one of the guards does manage to reach out and actually grab onto Blacksmith as you are running past. They impede your movement. They are all scrambling to the point that they can't immediately get shots off at you, but you are held for the moment. So I leave it to Solitaire. You do manage to juke and weave, and I'll even say you can throw your elbow up into somebody's face and activate your maneuvering thruster and give them a nice burst of air up their nose, as you can, should you choose to, kick your way out of these doors and proceed down the hallway, though you do see Blacksmith is held. It's up to you whether you think he can get out of it, 1 on 8, but you are free to chase after the Commodore.
No, I can't do it.
No.
He'll turn back. He can't.
No,
can't
Solitaire,
be
get that piece of shit. Finish the mission.
Okay, fine. He'll chase the Commodore. Fuck.
Okay. With that, the guard Blacksmith pulls you back and just knocks you in the jaw, sending the camera spinning, and we will head back outside.
Any update on that open comms as you're running down that hallway, Solitaire?
Hear a lot of cursing at the moment.
There's
But I believe we did. I know a lot has happened since you guys were playing your dangerous game of charades and trying to figure out what you were going to do. One of you did say shit's gone sideways, right? I believe somebody said that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was me.
so you know shit's gone sideways. That's all you know.
I feel like there's a unison, like, well-known sigh between Desperado and Bite. They're like, yeah, that's correct. Okay.
yeah.
Over the link that Siobhan has created with these other soldiers, just gonna say, all right, boys, charades is over. Shit's going down. We're doing our best. And then I'm gonna.
Okay. Continue.
I mean, I'll let them have a response to it, but essentially, Shiv's losing focus on what they were doing to gather information and instead focusing entirely on their team.
Okay. Which, by your team, you mean Desperado?
No. Solitaire had requested that somebody try to get a hold of their location within the center, and without the fear of, oh, what if they notice me? Shiv's gonna focus in on breaking through some shit.
Okay. Would you like to get back in Buddy, or are you trying to find, well, I mean, if Buddy can wirelessly hack, there's no reason why you can't wirelessly hack.
Yeah.
I think
Shadow-
Shiv's already back in, buddy.
The
I
Shadow
was
Runner
already
in me
back
is
in
screaming for Matrix rules right now.
But also, if I'm able to hardwire in, and that makes my job easier, that is a good instinct for a hacker to have.
You don't immediately have anything to jack into other than the soldiers in front of you.
Interesting.
But when you say, okay, charades is over, shit has gone sideways, you see at least 2 of them grab their rifles. Like, very poor trigger discipline, grab their rifles with the fingers in the trigger well or whatever it's called. Like, they are ready to pop off.
Shit, the attention splits a little bit. Calm down. Just, okay. Mm.
Right, you're already in it.
Point with my. What happened?
Okay. Shit. Okay, then. Wait. So light bulb idea. I could jack into one of these soldiers?
If
Or
you
their
get
equipment?
if you get out of your mech and take a data cable and
Mhm.
plug it into the comm unit in
Yeah.
their backpack, yes. Whether they will let you do that is a different story.
Cool.
I mean, there is a dead one there.
There is a dead guy. I'm gonna go to the dead guy.
Just contextualize the situation and what orders they may be under, and who they are, and why they are here, and everything that is going on. And I will ask you, again, not to dissuade you, but just to clarify, is this what you would
Yeah.
like to do?
Can I test the waters by, like, starting to go in that direction and see if somebody tries to stop me?
So you get out of your mech, climb down, walk over to the dead body. Are you, like, pulling out a data cable, or are you just walking up trying to approach?
I think I'm just gonna try to approach it first. Vibe
Okay.
check that scenario. Ooh, I hurt the dice.
The few that, you know, snap to their rifles now snap those rifles to you, and they're not even looking down sight. Again, not trained soldiers, they are not looking down sight. Their finger is on the trigger, like they twitch, you are shot, and they're not looking at you, they're looking around at each other, they're looking back down into the window, occasionally glancing back on you, just making sure you're not doing anything stupid. They don't say anything, but they point their weapons at you. They look absolutely terrified.
Okay.
Just
Fine.
hands up. Yeah, just like not with a gun in my hand, but just with the point down.
They're breathing heavy. They're shaking their head. They're
I don't have time for this. Okay. Then fully backing up.
Okay, I'm going to while we're working on that. I don't care about being hurt anymore. Where shit's hit the fan, it's already over. We're trying to help you. If you shoot us, we can't help you.
one of them goes, we can't. The
Why
other
not?
and another one like looks over at him and just slaps his chest.
Hey, it's already too late. Why not?
There's more of us in
Do they
there.
have any of your people?
Yes.
Okay. Then we will get them out.
The guy who originally shot at you, Desperado, in your mech, just knocks the guy in the head with the butt of his rifle. Guy falls over. And he is just back and forth to you guys with his rifle.
If you take us out, there's no way out for you. At all.
He just mouths, "There's no way out."
There's always a way out. All right. I think we're gonna quick draw McGraw this shit.
You hear the roar of thrusters coming down from the south.
Oh boy.
Startling.
What is that?
Ignoring all of
course
that.
it is.
I'm back in my mech, and I'm gonna hack from a distance. If I can't jack in, then it doesn't matter. It would have just helped. I'm gonna still do what I gotta do. I'm gonna try to locate my boys in the building and see what I can do about helping them get out.
So as you get settled onto your comm, you can see from the south. The thruster's kind of dying down as Throne sort of lands as close as I am able to. And you hear over comms very quickly, where is Solitaire's location?
Working on it.
Quickly, and I am moving. I am going in the direction that most makes sense that they went in.
North entrance, go.
Okay.
I would like
well,
to follow the outside perimeter of the building as best I can in Throne.
let me just to give you a visual representation. I always worry about bringing us over to what players will consider a battle map. We're not dropping into initiative, guys, but just to show you where you are.
Sure.
Let me bring Starblood, or let me bring Throne up over the map, so you can pretty much land. Actually, you were coming in from the south, so do I not have this set up right? I'm gonna have to. All right, you weren't here last week when I figured all this out. Okay, so in fact, is that I'll have to link this. You can fly in. Let's get you guys off of the overlay here so everyone can see a visual representation. You can fly in and land somewhere around here. You see a dozen in this other squad down by the south that nobody's really interacted with, who are likewise heavily armed and armored, seeing a mech scream in past their defenses, and they may open fire. You want to, I presume, approach where they are over here, and then hearing that they entered through the north entrance, head up over to basically where the northern squad is?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Are you at all concerned with these anti-vehicle soldiers right next to you?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay.
Should I be? Probably. Am I? Not so much.
Okay. Again, at the risk of dropping into combat, I have to take a shot at you. Because they would.
Please.
Because
of course,
they've
absolutely, yeah.
not been part of this conversation. They don't really know what's going on.
They have
Their
no idea what's
orders
going on.
were to attack.
There's just another mech here
yeah.
now, yeah. 100%.
So, they're going to open up with their anti-armor weapons.
Sure.
And I don't think they have anything fancy on them.
Well, that's good at least.
That is not going to hit you, however. So you are free to just boost right past them and make your way up over here.
Yep.
Now, I will say, with another mech showing up into the fray, that's probably going to further agitate this squad up here. What are you now trying to do?
Yeah. Well, I was told by Shiv where they had gone in, right?
Excuse me, that's Siobhan to you.
Well, this is me, Lion, speaking. But so my intent right now is to make my way over to that location, as I wait for information to come in about exactly where Solitaire is.
Okay. Bite, go ahead and give me a hack roll.
Heck yeah.
And I'm actually going to give you 1 die of accuracy, because in this time you get an uplink from Lich with some of the communication protocols and possible backdoors. So you go ahead and roll that, and I will ask you, Starblood, once again, do you at all care about this squad of anti-vehicle guys standing right where you want to be?
No.
Okay.
Not even remotely.
So, within the jamming field that you normally had to deal with, you're inside that bubble, and get a general location of Solitaire's data plating. It's a general location. You know he is somewhere on the second floor, somewhere around here-ish, we'll say.
For one thing, I send a happy cat gif to Lich, and then I send that information on to Starblood.
You have just absolutely made Lich's day, I'm sure.
Good. Gotta make up for the bullshit I pulled earlier today, so.
My goodness.
Not enough time to send a thank you, but enough time to send a cat going.
Okay. We'll get back to that later. Starblood, you now have a vague location of Solitaire.
Okay. I would like to position Throne in a way where we can maybe create an exit for Solitaire through a previously non-existing exit.
Okay.
Kool-Aid Man!
Yes, I would like to put a hole in this facility in Solitaire's general location, with both the intent of creating an exit and potentially turning not Solitaire into a, for lack of a better term, skid mark.
I appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, okay. All right. Cool. So, I know we've been a little wibbly-wobbly as to exactly what sort of equipment the support team has, since they've kind of been in the air most of this time, but also you guys don't really have, flight capabilities. But you were part of the support team, so
Yes.
we'll say you do have limited aerial maneuverability, which is mostly what you guys have been using on your support team. I think I messed that up in like the second or third episode, saying that you guys were going to head back to orbit. Nobody on this team had the option of breaking orbit once you went into orbit. It was to hit a rally point at some point. So you can choose to, throw your boosters on and jump up to the ceiling of the first floor. And even presumably the ceiling of the second floor. And then, I guess, run along the top of the building.
Yep.
You do know it's made out of starship hull, so it'll probably support you.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good. We'll try.
We'll do that. So you can boost yourself up and start running on top of the building. Now, okay, I don't want to drop us into initiative, but these squads are popping off at this point.
Yeah.
They're taking shots.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to keep this in narrative play, whether or not it involves your mechs or not. If you choose to jump inside your mechs and just open up on these guys, you will be able to take them out no problem. I mean, if we were actually dropping into mech combat, it might take you a round or two with, armor and yada yada and rolls and whatnot. But if you choose to just kill these guys, I will say you can just kill these guys, and it will come down to the complications of that will come down to a narrative dice roll as opposed to a mechanical mech combat dice roll. But shit's gone, as Blacksmith said earlier, shit has gone absolutely sideways at this point. Desperado and Bite.
I'm not in my mech.
Correct.
Also, I'm trying to. If I'm going in, I'm gonna try for debilitate, rather than outright kill.
Okay. Well, you are firing anti-vehicle, anti-ship weapons at people if you are going into your mech. Just throwing it out.
I'm not going into my mech.
Gotcha.
I'm not
Okay.
going into my mech.
Okay,
No, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, you
Gotcha.
said
I
that.
thought you said if you went back. Okay, never mind.
No. I'm not going in.
You do have weapons on your pilot loadout,
Yeah.
right? Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my misunderstanding. What specifically would you like to do? You're trying to
I'm
shoot people in the leg.
right. I'm trying to engage. I'm not trying to kill them. I'm going disable or debilitate. Like we're trying to take them out of the combat without taking them out of this life.
Okay. Hold there. We'll
Yes.
roll for that in just a second. Bite, what are you doing?
Sure.
We're going
now that I have
VTM
a-
style. I'm going to ask what everybody in the scene would like to do, and then mix it all together.
Sounds good. Now that I have a lock on Solitaire, I realize that that is one of my 2 boys. So I would like to try to get a lock on Blacksmith as well.
Blacksmith, do you have data plating?
No.
Then no.
Check. Cool. So he's just on the loose.
He's somewhere in there. Presumably
hate that.
near Solitaire.
Would she be able to get a lock on the his armor system?
It does have an onboard computer.
You
Can
can
we say I have like an
connect.
Apple AirTag on him because I know he like runs away a lot.
I mean, that might be something we can work out in the future. But it's not like you guys are tied into this planet's GPS grid if you have one. You can interface with his comms and with his computer system, but you can't really like pinpoint where
It's not
he is on the map.
sophisticated enough.
Yeah. I mean,
grab
with Solitaire's data plating, you can, and that's why I said vague understanding of where they are. You can get they're in this direction about 600 to 700 feet that way.
Yeah. Okay. Then if that's the case, what do I think would be helpful in this scenario? Can I set off a fire alarm in this building?
Sure. Yeah, that would be a hack check. Yeah.
Sweet.
I would suggest thinking bigger and
Bigger.
reminding you that this is sci-fi and not high school.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I guess I could set off some kind of siren that announces like they're being attacked. That's not super helpful. No. I don't want them to think that they're under it. Well, they're under attack.
I mean, could you like disable their like security announcements?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you could disable their security or their weapon system.
You
Yeah,
might be
just
able to just
activate
shut
the
down their
power.
comms.
I would like to. Yeah, let's just shut down their comms.
Okay.
It'll be like the 4th time I've tried it, but
Yeah, you might be able to just
Never.
shut down all communications since you do have those comm codes now. Shutting down power might be a much bigger ask, though it may also remind you that this station does utilize a nuclear fusion facility somewhere nearby.
Mm-hmm. Because nothing says move your buns like a meltdown warning.
God.
that's so true.
That's a
I definitely-
great idea.
I forgot the nuclear option. Let's set off that particular alarm if we can.
Okay.
Or if if you think it would be easier, Shiv could also set off all the alarms. If I just indiscriminately set off every alarm code in this system,
No precision.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
Would that
Something
be
has to
easier
work.
or far more difficult? I think that would be far more difficult because you know how many sensors there are in a building like this
I
that
know.
used to be a starship. Now that probably would be
4, right?
even
Fair enough.
no.
Fair enough.
That would probably be a lot of sensors and a lot of alarms, some of which probably would not make any sense.
Perfect. Then let's just set off the nuclear option.
Yeah, I will say the easiest of your suggested courses of action would simply be shut down communications. Trying to trigger the meltdown alarm would be more difficult,
Okay.
but certainly an option.
Certainly an option. Okay. Okay. Because I get help from Lich's stuff. I would get accuracy if I tried doing comms.
Specifically comms, yes. It would not help you with the alarm.
Then let's go for comms.
Okay.
More important to get something.
Yeah, you can roll with your skill trigger and an accuracy. Just standard check because you're just trying to cut communication. there you go. When I give you a fairly easy check, That's when you roll super high.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's a
Cool.
clutch at 20 though.
Yep. All right. Oh, was
Should've
it?
gone
Sweet.
nuclear.
Sweet. Okay. With that, I will actually give you the option. Do you want this to be discreet and have them not know their comms are cut off, or would you like to just send a burst of static and just everything goes loud and shuts down?
I would love for it to be that there is a time in which they still think they are communicating with each other.
Okay.
That it
Gotcha.
is not working.
So you hack into their comms, and instead of turning them off, you can uplink with Lich and the support team as sort of like a localized OmniNet WAN hub, and just redirect their communications. So it still looks like they're communicating. They're just not getting to who they're supposed to get to. Excellent.
Love that.
I love
Desperado.
the thought of Lich and other like support team members just fucking with them with like false responses.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, copy that, Bravo team. We're en route.
With a nat 20, could Shiv have like warned the support team, being like, "Fuck with them, fuck with them as long as you can."
Pull the Han
Yeah, they
Solo.
know.
Yeah, we're fine here. How are you?
Yeah,
I-
everything's
How are you?
great. Yeah.
I assume, unless you guys are blatantly disregarding protocol, you are communicating over operational comms at this point.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, Desperado. That was more complicated than I expected it to be. So, Desperado, you are trying to de-escalate the situation non-violently, but still violently, or non-lethally, but
Yes.
still violently. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, and this is going to be a risky roll because it's
Sure.
1 versus, well, now 10. But do you have any sort of, take control, knock somebody out,
I have assault.
combat? This sounds like assault. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you get your skill trigger,
Yeah.
and you get a point of difficulty. I'm not going to give you a point of
Sure.
difficulty. No, you get your skill trigger.
Okay.
It's otherwise going to be a flat roll, but it is a risky check. So
Okay.
you got to beat a 10 to succeed, but that will still give consequences unless you get over 20.
Okay.
13. All right. So you do succeed, but there will be some consequences. All right.
So, yeah.
No, please.
So, Desperado is like, listen, doesn't have to be this way. They start to turn towards me and Max. Fuck. So we're pulling out pistols, and then there's a third arm from the back of the suit that comes up, also with a gun. Yeah.
You got to warn your GM about these shenanigans.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, so he's gonna go Reaper, just whirling dervish of guns and bullets. So yeah,
Okay. Well,
For kneecaps?
we're going for non-lethal areas, like somebody's hand.
less
is
than
gonna
lethal
get,
response.
you know,
I think is the best you're
Right.
going to get with whirling dervish of bullets.
With 3 arms.
sure,
Yeah.
sure, with 3 arms. Hey,
so-
it's a Neuralink, baby. I'm in control.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Oh, did you
Uh,
like that foot?
Oh, God.
Well, if I had known that, I may have actually given you a point of accuracy. But even if you roll max, it's not going to be above a 20, so it doesn't much matter. So,
True.
yeah, you just full cowboy with a third arm, whip out 3 pistols, and just start lighting these guys up. You do manage to hit a good number of them in non-vital areas. Or at least not immediately killing areas. You may have inflicted some gut wounds on a couple of these guys, which will need immediate medical attention or they will bleed out, but you have taken out the situation. In doing so, however, they do turn. You take out a good number of them, half of them, before they are even able to respawn. The half of them that were otherwise de-escalated. It's really just that one guy who seemed to have been the lead of the we're not doing this shit team, who seemed to have, he was also one of the guys who did not tap yes for being an untrained civilian. This guy probably had some sort of, maybe not military training, but some sort of martial training of some kind. Does turn and actually gets a good burst off on you, and you take 4 damage out of the 6 HP you have as an unsuited pilot.
Yep.
Now, do you have armor?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I believe I
Hold on.
tried checking if you guys had your pilot gear picked out, and I'm not sure all of you did.
Okay. Yeah, I have a mobility hard suit, but I don't think it gives. Yeah, I don't think it gives me any armor.
Mobility does not. Okay. You take
Sure.
4 damage out of the 6 HP you have as a pilot out of your mech. So
Sure.
you get lit up. There's just a stream of burst fire bullets just over your chest. You get the wind knocked out of you. Your suit takes the brunt of it, but you are going to have a nasty bruise against your chest, and you do feel the sting and the initial coldness and rush of something penetrating through your suit. You have definitely been shot. You're not taken out. It's not a gaping chest wound, but you have been shot.
Okay.
With that, however,
that
you...
one I'm shooting in the head.
Okay,
Sure.
you take him out.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
shot. I assume
he's been
you...
the escalator.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to.
Excellent. If I can, this is where we're going to take it out for the episode. You get burst fire shot up your chest, and as you are recoiling backwards, I think we see you turn your head, and out of one guy, the camera zooms in, pivots around. We see that third mechanical arm swing out and over your shoulder as you are otherwise reeling backwards, and just one shot, Malcolm Reynolds style, just pop. Guy goes down. Camera goes black.
Oh yeah.
To be continued next week on the Starcrier Conflict.
That was a weird noise, I'm sorry.
Fix it in post.
What a pickle! What a pickle!
Guys, what are you guys doing?
No idea.
The prophecy
Fucking
must
winging
be
it.
fulfilled.
Oh, man. Okay.
No.
Well,
Crazy shit.
yeah, we're going to try to wrap these up because I want to have a chat about this at an after show because I think it's going to be a cool conversation. So we will pick up with this next week. And yeah, we're going to be dropping into some exciting stuff. But one way or another, I can't even say that anymore. Oh, we'll see. We might... The Starcrier Conflict might just turn into the Drespel 1 project at this point. I'm not sure. But...
We seem to like it here.
We will pick up next week with trying to resolve whatever is going on here. Lots of stuff happened this episode, and I cannot wait to see where we take it and what more we learn. So stay tuned for next week. Let me throw it back to you guys, and I will say I encourage you to talk about what you have going on, but also if we could wrap this up expeditiously, because I would love to get a good after show in. But please, everyone, tell our good audience here about where they can find more of your amazing performances and other things you do. Sean, take it away.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been playing August Walker. Thursday on Nerds with Dice. Come see Ironsworn. It's our second season. Fantastic. It's going to be great. And then next Monday on the 29th, over on Singularity RPG for Heart of Darkness, our alien play, which is also a fantastic story with Meg Mysteria. You will love it. Haley, you're up.
It's me. Hey, howdy, bye. I am Haley. I've been playing Siobhan Carey, aka Shiv to my friends. But yes, you can find me at Haley Ann on just about everything. But yeah, just mostly screaming out into the void about TTRPGs. Come hang out.
Hi, I'm Q. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at Midnight Inc. It's midnight_I. Name, I'm get it. I have lots of things and stuff that you can find me on. I've said it many times, so you can find it. It's fine. It's a lot. I'm not doing it. He asked for expeditious. I'm not doing it. I got a lot of stuff going on. You can find me on the internet. Okay, bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I play.
Yeah, 7. It's
Okay.
fine.
Don't lie to them.
Okay. I'm Andrew. I've been playing Athen Mishin, our currently probably getting teeth kicked out thing. I'm that gamer Ajax on basically all of the interwebs. If you really want to see more of my stuff, I'd really encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, same name. But yeah, that's basically it. So, Lion, round us out.
Hey all, it's Drake Lionheart. Most people call me Lion. I use they, he pronouns, and I am the creative director for Tales from the Table Studios. Something that started as an actual play studio and now is an amazing community with some great people. Come check us out, it's great. We just closed our casting call for Echoes of Refinement. We'll have information about that in the next few weeks. We're going to have another announcement in the next few weeks as well for another series that we're really excited to be able to talk about. I'm also a game designer. I write modules, TTRPGs, things like that. I'm working on a TTRPG called Awesome Adventures, which has touchstones in things like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Amphibia, and more. And yesterday, I released my first one-page TTRPG, Poise and Rationality, Closing the Goddamn Door, a two-player game about finding comfort in unresolved conflict. So you can go check that out on my itch page. It's fun. It's cool. Go try it. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks so much for having me. I've been, I gotta do it. I gotta do it every time. John Tavik Creighton Vasier Harrison the Fourth, aka Starblood, piloting the throne, once again swooping in to save our amazing squad. And that's me.
And every time you do, you get better at saying your own name, which is impressive.
Magical.
Give it a season. We'll
Yep.
see where it goes.
By the end, you'll be able to rattle it off like you're a Derolo.
There will be more, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's gonna be twice as long eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. Excellent. Thank you, my wonderful players, my wonderful cast, for all of this. I've been taking notes frantically while you guys were doing your outro. I got some things to plan. We're going to see what happens next week. You guys will have to tune in to see what happens next week. I don't really have many more words than that unless I want to catch myself just rambling. So head over to our Ko-Fi if you would like to support the show. We are going to go do an after show and have some behind the scenes talks and get into the heads of these amazing cast members. Try to figure out what they're doing and what they're thinking, and maybe give a little bit of insight from the GM side. But when this mission is finally over, you will also get all of my notes for everything that's gone down and everything that could have gone down, maybe should have gone down, could have otherwise gone down. So if you like what we're doing, you want to see more of it, you want to help me with production cost and whatnot, that's the best way to help support. And again, you can always head over to the Mayhem meter and ratchet things up even more. Though right now I don't know if that's really a good idea, but it helps pay them, so please do it. And I'll find a way to try to make it not kill all you guys next week on the Starcrier Conflict. As always, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, keep having fun, keep checking back here at RPGs Uncovered for more of the Starcrier Conflict. Good night, folks, and happy time zone.
Bye-bye.